he plays, like, I remember when I was first seeing him in tournaments, I went, this is Chinese LucifroN. And that was legitimately the words out of my mouth. I think he had this phenomenal game. Was it, who was it against? Was it Marine Lord? I can't remember, someone like that, where he played Rus, and he played the most all-in Rus I think I've ever seen in the history of Rus. So he's definitely got the temperament, the capability, and we've seen that he leverages that very well. You know, you've talked to me before about how he just has Louis MC's number because he understands how to unravel that enigma in the early game in a way that most players cannot. So really exciting series, and you can already see how important it is.
Look at their stats.
Exactly, yeah.
They're
going
so
into
close.
this,
They're next to each other.
this is literally just a rinse and repeat of what we just had in terms of the stakes, right? Puppypaw and Dumu were like this on the board. I think it was just 2 or 3 points maximum between them. This series will decide once again which one of these two makes it through to the playoffs of the Elite Classic 3. Crazy to say that as well, because I think for a lot of people, Crackety, they either had LucifroN or Wham easily pegged to take that 4th spot. Maybe some people had B a little bit lower. I don't think that many people saw a world in which Wham could be easily facing elimination here, and CsO would be the one going through.
Man, just looking at that first matchup that we're getting here, we're getting Cliffside with China for LucifroN against Japan for CsO. Japan and CsO, like these two, they're like made for each other. Like CsO, he plays Japan to such a high level. He makes excellent use of the Honor Geisha as well. And Honor Geisha, I feel like are like a really, really underrated unit, especially against civilization like China or against Zhuji's Legacy, because Zhuji's Legacy and China, their backline struggles with mobility. Like Zhuganu crossbows, really slow. And then you have those Honor Geisha, which can just be anywhere at the same point in time. It's the same reason why China can somewhat struggle against Malians as well, against like Mass Musafadi and Sofa raids from both sides. It's the same reason. And Honor Geisha, you can just flood so many of them out there. It can be really tough for China to react to that.
Yeah, I actually like the idea of someone like either Honor Geisha, Horseman was a classic, but I think even nowadays, Honor Geisha, Yumi might be more viable, with the Yumi buffs in particular. Maybe run some early plays. I still remember there was a certain legend, you might recall him on the ladder, Neptune, who discovered the all-in feudal Honor Geisha Horseman spam, where he just ate everything off the map. I haven't really seen anyone able to replicate it.
That was a very specific game. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see anything like that, just because it's such a, I want to also say, like, map-dependent playstyle, depending on, like, if your opponent has a forward gold, I think you can do that.
Yeah.
I think that was like the game against BC where BC was playing French and he had the forward goal, so it was really tough for BC to like mass knights in order to deal with that. I don't think you can really do that comfortably in like every single matchup, every single game. But this one in particular, I think just the most bare bones but effective army composition is just the mounted samurai with mass Honor Geisha. If your opponent spams spearmen, the Honor Geisha just absolutely shred them. And the mounted samurai, they just tank so much and are so great. Like, once those spearmen are gone, even if your opponent has mass crossbows, the mounted samurai just absolutely shred there.
It is an insanely expensive food comp, though. That's something to be conscious of. It can be quite tricky these days, especially when you're not a pro scouting Civ, especially against ones that would. But let's see how it's going to play out. Elite Classic 3 group stage, the final day, and a series that matters oh so much. LucifroN and CsO, both on the cusp of qualifying through to the playoffs. And this series would crown one. LucifroN kicks us off in the green with the Chinese, and CsO on the west side will be playing as the Japanese in the orange, and we are getting that good old-fashioned Dark Age rush.
I think Dark Age Rush just makes so much sense in the current meta up against Chinese as well, because we've seen China time and time again go for the no IO opening. And when you go for a no IO opening, you don't have any other way of getting the gold in, right? But LucifroN, he's already got 4 villagers on gold. I think maybe he thought that something like this could be happening.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? Because like when you think about the gold location, it is front-facing to a certain degree, so you could get exposed there. It's not really worth taking the risk. So very smart call. Means he doesn't have to be threatened by the potency of this opening. CsO can still get some reaped reward from this, though. Like, something that is, of course, popular is the deer shove afterwards. So once he sees that the goal's been gathered and there's no pressure point, he could just look to find the enemy deer and lame them, or he could just come home and push his back deer into the base.
There we go. Spearman now gets revealed, but at this point in time, already enough gold gathered. Granted, LucifroN, he's now going to be lacking on food for a while, but...
I'm trying not to laugh. it's almost like the spin was just like, well, I mean, I came all this way, I might as well stab someone, you know? Like, when in London. So it gets that one little shiv out, but obviously there shouldn't be any worker kills to this.
I'm already here. I already bought the souvenir knife. I might as well.
Look, I bought a very expensive London tourist black hoodie, okay? If I'm not mugging someone today, I am outraged.
I'm doing something wrong.
And then, you know, as often happens, there's no one to mug, so you take the train out of London and you go deer pushing, you know? It's like cow tipping, just much more difficult. Huh?
Deer pushing now also coming in on the side. And I think like Japan with deer pushing, there's like some really, really good synergy with that as well. Like just having so much food available to you underneath your TC. You mentioned it earlier, like the army composition is going to be very food heavy. That deer push helps a lot with that.
Absolutely. You know, it opens the door to those more premium type lineups. Like I consider Unobligation used to feel premium. The big reason we just don't see them anymore is because of how hard that transition is. But LucifroN is on point with the timing here. And this is where maybe sending that spear across the map feels a little bit greedy. Yeah, because...
Yeah, if he had him here, he might have been able to deny that, but now there's no denial of the denial.
But then what if we deny the deny of the deny by going pro... I'm not even going to finish that statement. There's no way you want to do that to Japan. He does, however, have all that food scattered amongst the berries. So nice thing is you can eventually plant the farmhouses. It's just it's going to have to be an earned play.
I'm wondering what LucifroN's game plan is right now, because he actually isn't going for pro scouts, at least not the immediate pro scouts. He's going back out to wood now.
Wait,
maybe he's going for the late pro scouts. Yeah, I think he just pulled villagers over to gold again. I think he realized that he's going to need gold a little bit quicker.
By the time he does, the deer are going to be really far away. Can we look at the northern deer? Because I think the spearman has been shoving them around.
He's been busy. Oh my god.
Be free, little ones! Be free!
Yeah,
be freed in the afterlife.
Typically it's called a herd of deer, but this definitely is not a herd.
No, the only thing that can be heard around here is the death screams. That does sound very depressing when you listen to it quietly.
Yeah. If there's nobody around to hear that, do they really scream?
Yeah, if there's no one around to hear a murder, did it really happen? Now, a detective would say yes, but a detective is not a doctor.
All right, up to 3 Imperial officials now, so LucifroN is getting some good economic scaling here, courtesy of just being China. And, you know, Texas, there's something that we all... Like, it's similar to cave diving. We all have to do it at some point in our lives, and we all have to deal with taxes.
I'm trying to figure out how taxes can get you stuck and killed. I guess if you have to take, like, a loan out from the mob. So I'm pretty sure...
You know, they do that to people.
Oh, that's when the mugging goes wrong. That's the thing that people need to, like, realize. It's kind of like that moment in the Marvel movies when you hear Force say all words are made up. Like, your life changes when you realize that taxes is just a legal form of mugging.
I'm not sure how it is for UKP, but you know how like the algorithm at some point suddenly starts spamming you with very specific topics? For me, it was cave diving. And I am now of the firm belief that there's no inevitable scenario where I do not have to go cave diving at some point in time.
The problem is, Crackety, you're an office lad, and all I can now picture is like, you know the office scene where they do parkour? It's like a version of that,
yes.
Where your ass is just hanging out of like a vent on the wall.
I'm stuck.
Like, what happened? I'm cave diving. Oh, God.
What's going on behind this now? So CSO is starting to get closer and closer at Castle H. So going to be a little bit away, but does have good food income. LucifroN, he is going for that pro scout play. More scouts coming in. Already has survival techniques, so good food income going to be there for him. But he had to invest a lot for that good income. So CSO should have a good head start here.
Mm-hmm. And on the opening, I mean, I'm becoming more and more of a fan of Yumi. I don't think we're going to see it. It's just going to be classic Mount Samurai. They are too desirable. But it's fair to say at this stage, Yumi has anchored itself as the secondary tier of that comp on the majority of Japanese games. And in no small part due to that insane 10% discount buff.
You think so? I don't take CSO really as a Yumi gamer.
You don't think so? You think
he's
it's going to be Ona?
This is the kind of guy that, if he were to face off against Ayubits, would still go for mass.
Oh, you're
mass
right.
knights
Yeah,
as French.
That's true. Like, he's the person that even if the whole game was like you shouldn't build desert raiders, he'll build them. We have to remember that this guy studied a lot with Louis MT, the guy who would build more Japanese samurais than anyone else on horseback. It's quite possible you only see one unit. Like, I should have known better. What was the rest of his draft? Did he get French, Russe, Jean? Like the pattern?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, there definitely must be a pattern there. But also have Mongols. I do know that he also loves the occasional Mongol.
Once again for ponies. Yep.
Yep.
Do you reckon if we ever
Actually,
meet
it's good
CSO online, he'll be wearing like a My Little Pony shirt?
I'm just gonna put this out there. He does have like many times when I see him on ladder, he always changes the name of his account. His names do always invoke a certain theme.
Do you reckon when he sees 194, the Great Unicom's name, he reads it as unicorn?
I mean, that many do.
I have a feeling like
Many
everything in his
do.
life is stallion themed, you know? Like, yeah, you know how most of us talk about units moving at tile speed? He's like, yeah, this scout, when it carries a deer, it has 20 horsepower. It's not a lot of horsepower.
It's all about the acceleration there, right?
So it's like, I mean, in a way, getting hit in the back by a sword should technically accelerate you. Just food for thought.
Makes sense.
It's just
Sure.
It's physics. So, looks like LucifroN is aware of what's coming, by the way. So it's going to be prepped archer ranges for attack up and crossbow spam up the wazoo. That does mean CSO should just be able to nibble away at the relics for free, though.
I'm not sure about that. We already have a good amount of spearmen out for LucifroN. He is patrolling around them. Age-up is coming in pretty quickly, as, is tradition for Chinese. They do like to build their buildings rather quickly. You know how they, build a hospital in, a week or something like that?
Yeah.
That's pretty quick.
It's also just confusing because I feel like they usually don't age quickly. So it's like it's a contradictory thing, but we'll let them be.
Dude, it happens from one day to another. You see a 60-year-old Chinese person, and they still look like they're in their 20s. Then the next day you look at them and they're like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's true, right? It's like
How they start looking their age.
The immortality potions ran out at the local 24/7 store. So firstly, Marin.
Spearman coming in?
Let's get out of here. Well, it does lose the scouts. That's nicely done. It's going to force a reinvestment. That's going to slow down his timing with the digital samurai. But LucifroN, of course, this is the upside of playing pro scouts against this. Like, you just don't leave your base, so you don't tend to get friend. At least, that's the way it used to play. Of course, in this game, we've still got him with a lot of deer to get home.
I think there has to be a transition now soon into, the mass on a Geisha. You can't just go with your head against the wall in this matchup, or rather against this army composition from LucifroN. If there were 15 on a Geisha here right now, LucifroN would have to hard pivot.
You're really fixated on this big Geisha today, aren't you?
I mean, on a Geisha, definitely do not underestimate them. Grant, there's also a little bug there at the moment where when you have two Bannermen, only for infantry, by the way, the Bannerman aura affects them twice if one of the Bannermen is dead.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can have giga attack damage on a Geisha in fights.
So, what I'm hearing is we need a Burgrave rush for the Japanese, and then it's just samurai flooding in with the bodies flopping on purpose. We'd have to rush Daimyo level 2, though. It's the only challenge. I guess
Yeah,
it's probably
you
gonna
gotta
see
get
it.
that 700 stone for it. Oh, nice little raid here, potentially coming in for CSO. Most of the army from LucifroN is on the left side. Right side is completely open here. He sees the units, holds them back.
Okay, very scared of the two spearmen, will run away. I told you, CSO, he loves his ponies too much. He's like, no. I've already named him, that's
Reaction is there,
Maribel.
though. LucifroN's pulling the entire army back.
Like, it's going to create a little bit of space to sneak onto the relics. Number one just got picked up.
Now I just want to start seeing the Honor Geisha.
You really...
Oh my god, that was so close with the relic.
Come on. There's another one further out.
Spearman though. They see
Nope.
him, and they go away.
The problem here is you've talked about the ladies so much that even though spears are now Lucifronas instead, they are going to turn around. But by the time they realize it's happened, the Shinto is close to home. So, good start here, good pacing for CSO. In some ways, I think...
The Shinto inside?
Nicely done.
Wait, he died. Did he die? He died.
Yeah, he did. He
died,
dropped the relic on his side.
He dropped the relic on his side, yeah.
Wait, does CSO... Please tell me CSO knows. It's so subtle.
I hope he did. You can't see it on the mini-map. You can't see the relic on the mini-map.
Legitimately
it's so
can't.
hard to see.
And, like, every little Maz right now, because what happened to the army counts? Like, this is not a good Japanese mounted samurai
he's going into Yumi's now. And how LucifroN's coming in to steal the deer.
Okay, so Yumi is the solution to everything that LucifroN's doing right now, but you need a lot of them, and it feels like you may already be too far behind.
Yeah, but LucifroN, he's already got the Siege Workshop with the landmark, the Clock Tower. Nest of Bees are now going to be coming in. And I still don't see no Honor Bagacious.
Nope. There's no time for ladies here. We're true gamers. CSO is just in the basement, grinding 24/7. He's only got eyes for knights. Apparently
That's a
Yumi.
lot of archer ranges.
It has to be. He's so far behind.
Yeah, he's really leaning into that now. I mean, yeah, I agree. He needs the units. I just wish it was a different unit.
You're trying not to say the name again, aren't you?
I'm trying not to repeat myself. Yeah, it's hard for me as well.
Like, it's hilarious because you with Bagacia this game is like me historically with Yumi. Like, this would be a great Yumi game, and that never happens. But you just keep saying it.
Bagacia game.
Exactly, because if you keep saying it, when it eventually happens, that one game, everyone thinks you're a genius.
I'll die on that hill. Honor Bagacia is a heavily underrated unit.
Agreed. Always has been. This is worrisome, though. I think of all the maps to be forced to do Yumi from behind like this is maybe one of the worst maps. These choke points are going to give fantastic value to those Nest of Bees.
I'm saying this as well because I played this exact matchup against the exact same player on the same map with Japan against China.
That's a lot of sames.
And, yeah, a lot of sames. And Honor Bagacia they do a great job. But CSO, he's got out a lot of Yumis very quickly here now.
And, you know, the thing is, it's going to clear the spears quickly. The crossbows is decent against them in the trade-off as well. It also just means Mount Samurai can back you up finally. Or maybe what it really means, Crackety, is that you will have the perfect storm to then transition into the Honor.
Into the Honor Bagacia. There it is. There it is. We're going full circle again. But yeah, I mean, the really good thing about the Yumi archers here as well is you have a lot more mobility than your opponent. Like 1.38 against 1.12 from the crossbows. So you can kind of like dictate the pacing here. Like LucifroN, he's going to have to put up walls. If there aren't any walls from LucifroN, he cannot move out of his base. And you don't often see LucifroN making walls.
And this is the tricky thing, right? Like the reality check on top of that is you went Nest of Bees. So you need walls because you need time to actually react with the really threatening element of your comp.
There it is. He's going on the double side now. Now it's going to be very tough for LucifroN to react to two sides at the same time. See, so he's going to attack on one side, and the second LucifroN moves his army over.
Oh, I
He'll
love
be on
that.
the other side again. There's the stone.
Yep. Pokes over at it. Does force him off. Now, that was interesting. CSO started off by sending in one Mounted Samurai to probe a reaction. Didn't get it. So LucifroN, very good discipline there. If he'd started shifting towards the TC and over to the tree line, would have been 3-4 worker kills from the Yumi dive. So just great little read there by him.
He needs a stone. I'm not sure if you can go for walls now. I think maybe he just needs a keep, maybe on the berries, secure some resource with the keep. And maybe then he's able to react to one of the sides. But right now, it's just going to be very oppressive for him to have to react on two sides back and forth, back and forth.
Going to get more scary as well because of the daimyo upgrades. All of a sudden, both armies will actually have the aura upgrades.
Yeah. Barbican of the Sun now coming in. Doesn't really help you a ton here. It gets him to Song Dynasty, but can we quickly check out CsOH's TC? Does he have a Yoroshiro inside the TC? There's no Yoroshiro inside the TC, so this is going to be still an advantage, and he still hasn't picked up the relic next to his Coruscant.
What relic?
The invisible relic. Yeah, I don't see it either.
You can see if you look from that very particular angle.
It's plain as day from a very specific angle.
I mean, come on, CSO. Like, if you just look at your tree line and then look at the Kura storehouse, you'd see it. It's not hard.
Just take 5 seconds to look around there. Wait, you don't have 5 seconds? Okay, that's too bad.
Let's make more time.
There it is. Like the circling around. Rams now on one side as well.
Stretching him, and also on top of that, the village on this side. Some infrastructure that you can target down, and you're seeing LucifroN starting to get a little bit impatient about this. He does not like how much this is stressing him, so risk of an overextension here. And there's a risk of CSO maybe going up to a third group to raid from the south side.
Yeah, he's being pulled apart now. SFB is also a little bit far outside now. Zone base. Rams starting to attack as well. Yeah, this is really, really devastating now. He's starting to lose a lot of infrastructure. I think he doesn't have a lot of protectable wood lines. He's actually putting up a keep now all the way in the back.
Yeah, and I wondered if he's going to do this, because technically, if you think about it, LucifroN can shift his whole economy to the east side of the base. He's got trees there, he's got food there, he's got gold there. So this can work. Unfortunately, the timing, not ideal. He's going to get forced to delay that build-up. With the army here, should be able to tick that box. Did get the Barbican on the south side of this tree line, so a lot of safety in that area. The primary has basically been forfeited, which, I mean, in theory, what he's done here is necessary, but now the trade-off could just be a complete loss of your production.
All sacred sites locked in. CSO, great food income, great gold income. Looking at the income from LucifroN, not looking nearly as good here for him right now. He's going to need to do farm transition at some point as well. He does still have berries in the back next to the Barbican, but these can run out super quickly.
Do you remember in this game when LucifroN had 45 military and CSO had 10?
That feels like a far gone memory now.
Like, was it even the same game? It doesn't feel like it was. It's 63 Yumi now. You just see how quickly this army zergs up.
The raid in the back. The second LucifroN moves out at the front side. The raids come in the back. Oh my god, it's a great shot though.
Big hit. And the Mount Samurai.
And LucifroN, he's aware on both sides.
He's got him on both ends.
Good fight.
Beautifully done. And now the nest of bees uncontested. It means they can just camp here. The spearman line is fitting though. May need to get some more reinforcements over here. But right now he just stands his ground.
This is an excellent fight. The best fight LucifroN could have ever asked for, honestly. And here we see Clock Tower Nest of Bees. They don't die easily. And suddenly, CSO, his army is more than halved.
So this is crazy. You have to look back at that moment and wonder, what the hell was CSO doing? Why did he throw? He didn't. He gambled there. There's a small stealth forest. He hit the Yumi inside. The nest of bees technically did not have line of sight. Hence why they walked all the way up to the stealth forest. The problem was he didn't have enough mounted samurai committed to the west side to win that type of engagement. So CSO got a little bit too big brain for himself, and LucifroN's orderly fashion here leads him on through to take control of the game again, and now look for a counterattack.
CSO, he still has a lot of resources, and I'm still looking forward to seeing maybe on a Begeisha, but I'm starting to think that they might not be coming in anytime soon. I'm starting to think that CSO doesn't have on a Begeisha on his mind. He's even adding in a second TC at this point.
And I'm sure after the 4th TC, he'll think about an Begeisha.
Has to be eventually, right? Like, it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, if a game goes 2 hours and he doesn't build every unit, right? I mean,
yeah, would be weird, right? Would be weird.
There's no way CSO just has an eye for the ball guys instead, right? There's no way he's just going to rush Imperial now and build.
LucifroN still can't move out.
Yeah. He's going up to 11 nest of bees.
He's got no food. He has to. He's got no other resources, right? Like, he's got no food. Nest of bees, the only thing that he can afford, really.
Oh, right now it feels like the only thing he needs.
Yeah, are those berries? He is going to the berries at the front of his base. So that's the one in the back. Ooh, nest of bees. But he does have one mounted samurai there, which is gonna learn. Never mind, no alert. It's gonna lose everything. Where did the Yumi go?
They are with your pet hamster right now. They're not going to see them anymore. But it looks like CSO, he's making the best of the situation to force a full switch. He's going full mounted samurai. But LucifroN, I mean, he has to be aware of it, right? Yeah, but
I like that. He's so far ahead economically right now because he knows that LucifroN has no farms. He is 100% aware of that.
Okay, but LucifroN has got stone. He's dropping a keep next to CSO's base.
That is incredibly daring, and it might pay off. There are so many nests of bees, like with body blocking. I don't think CSO can really deny that. And immediately, this could work. This could work.
I think what you do,
This is
you
the
build
all-in
small
move that
walls.
can work.
Just build small walls. Like, you know, take a leaf out of Louis MT's book. Just wall this little area, create a little forward palisade, and that'll force the Mount Samurai to dive and bulk for an SB shots.
Oh, that's gonna be insane. Like, honestly, this keep opens up a lot of avenues now for CsO.
So he does know about the gathering on the east side.
For LucifroN. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
right.
For LucifroN. Castle of Crows now also coming in. Okay, so Imperial Age is coming in. I would have preferred it to be the Tanegashima Gunsmith just because, like, Siege could be a necessity here.
You
But
need
looks like
so
he
many,
just
though.
really wants a defensive base.
Yeah, the problem is it's going to be Clocktown SBs, right? So the bombards don't even clear
Yeah.
fast. And now, the good news is good guy LucifroN is going to kill that Kura storehouse, and then CsO will notice the relic. Always helping people out.
Good guy LucifroN.
What a nice guy. I mean, he's killing you, but what a nice guy.
Very nice guy.
This is like when you're dying to the perfect-looking Chad. You're like, he's killing me, but I can't help but admire his perfectly chiseled chest. Oh, wow, full dive.
I deserved it. I had it coming, man. Like, looking at him like that, I think I was the bad guy here, honestly. Oh, not another shot!
He does back away
Moves back
in time. I mean, the TC is not looking too good right now, though. The dive comes in the back. The Mount Samurai.
Not looking good, though.
They avoid the fight.
Great Knight raids here. And we're immediately getting all the upgrades in on the Knights here.
Just needs to hold on the front side.
Now, but
I mean, this is the thing. The Cast the Crow.
He will be fine.
The Cast the Crow saves him. That's the thing right now. Like, LucifroN, he was ready to continue the dive, and all of a sudden there was a giant, big red stop sign. He at least sieged the primary TC, but as we know, someone that maybe LucifroN doesn't, there is a second town center behind it. So it's not like CsO is going to be stagnating if he loses that primary. In the meantime, with the elite upgrades, this is going to turn into a bloodbath. Lucy can't afford to come home.
Yeah, he cannot. He needs a market now in order to get more of the trebuchets out, but yeah, it's literally going to be all about the trebuchets now. He needs the landmark victory. There's no other way around it. The issue is there's so many mounted samurai now building up. There might be a point where CsO just has enough with the tech advantage where LucifroN cannot hold. But the farms are now idled out for CsO. There are no more berries out on the map for him to get the food from. He might also have food issues now.
Yeah, to make matters worse, he just got Damaru armor on those. So those are now raiding at the speed of horsemen. Really important for the initial point of connection. It seems like a meaningful ability because you only get extra move speed if you have the deflective. But the whole idea is for rotations, it makes you incredibly fast. Speaking of which, he's fishing. We do have the bombards now. And LucifroN has really got no army to dive with. He's going to try to move in quick enough. But it should be impossible to get those kills. Luckily, Castle of the Crows sucks against Siege.
It's not that great. It does still a decent amount of damage. CsO, he's committing. Might this be a little bit early? Where's the archers? The archers are going for raids here, actually, behind this. But this is a very all-in play for LucifroN.
Yeah, and the bombards. The bombards are starting to clear up the siege of the thing. Good hits there. LucifroN actually hit the RNG. The trebs were connecting, so we'll slow it down again. I mean, the reality check here, though, is LucifroN is at 0 food income, about to get hit in the base again. He doesn't have a farm transition. He doesn't have time to go back. And it is so difficult to execute what he's attempting here. Like, this feels borderline impossible to pull off.
This is such a crazy opening to the set as well. Like, you would never see something from this from players like Puppy Paw, Demu, Beastie, or Marine Lord.
It's true. And also, you know, most people wouldn't expect LucifroN to usually be in this type of full Queen's Gambit type situation where you have to take such a ridiculous risk to win the game.
More bombards coming in now. Landmarks, there's still your sheer landmark there. Rams now coming in. Archer starting to dive. Got enough HP to survive at least one volley from the keeps.
The bombard account, he just queued up 4 more. He's like, oh, I'm a little bit light on food too. Yeah, this siege idea seems pretty good.
And LucifroN, he cannot make any more units, so these bombards being able to one-shot the backline, the crossbows, almost one-shot the spearmen, it's starting to hurt him a lot.
Yeah,
Now we're
it
starting
feels
to reach the point where he can one-shot the siege.
exactly. I think he's slipping a little here. You can just feel it. Like he just can't get in for the trade anymore. It's
All in on
impossible.
landmarks, villagers are being pulled. Everything's being pulled. Everything is being pulled from LucifroN now.
Now hold on a second.
There is still a way.
Yeah, but there's 2 landmarks. He needs to rush the floating gate before the villagers arrive. Otherwise, it's obvious.
He's doing it.
And there is a decent amount of
he
mounted
needs to go
samurai
for the
still.
bombards. Yeah, there's only 14 crossbows left. He needs greatness of B-shots, but he's getting decent ones.
He needs to kill them now. The trade out. CSO stands his ground with this, so it's going to start splintering. But if you don't have the STBs anymore, it's just going to be villagers diving to death. And the Yumi, I think this is where they're going to make a break for it. They have to rush home to defend here. So Mount Samurai, they are clearing it.
There aren't that many mounted samurai remaining.
This is it. He goes for the wall loll. That's going to get denied. The villagers now trying to go for the body block, but the torches are out. Full garrison force here. And the bombards, I don't know if they'll be able to kill them quick enough. LucifroN with so much torch power. Treb's now being sniped. Bombards, they're reducing the damage output. He's got 400 wood. It just all disappeared. He's queuing up mangoes now. He has gold that he can trade across to keep the wood repair going. But it feels like as close as he's come. LucifroN does not have the horsepower to ride this beast across the finish line.
It is just barely not enough. Now the Mangonel is coming in as well. AoE to the villagers, and that is going to be it. LucifroN losing the villagers. The landmark does not go down. And game 1 is going to be going over to CsO.
A phenomenal effort at the end there from LucifroN. Unfortunately, it felt like the writing was on the wall. Great quick pivot by CSO and calm in the face of impending danger. He takes an early lead against one of AoE's finest. And CSO starting to make a little bit of a statement in people's brains, in people's minds with plays like that about maybe he should be in those playoffs. Because with the way he's opened this series, LucifroN has to be feeling like he's going to have to dig deep to beat this beast.
My God, what an intense game. LucifroN, I mean, looking at the resource gathered, it looked like CsO was in a very, very comfortable position, but LucifroN, with that forward keep pull, with the mass siege, it looked still so close. And when the villagers got pulled, honestly, KP, I want to say, like, if he went with the villagers and killed the bombards, kept the trebuchets alive, I want to say there's, like, maybe 5% more of a chance that he wins that. But honestly, it was such a crazy game. I'm happy no matter how it turned out in the end.
Exactly. I mean, it was tight as well because CSO, at one stage when he started queuing up the mangoes, he had no wood left. Like, there was actually a growing risk there. And he didn't immediately pivot and trade through to get the extra wood. So definitely threading the needle in a dangerous way. I mean, it would have been hilariously epic if that wall loll at the end actually had triggered and that had been the difference maker. That relic that's been lingering here the whole time. But yeah, can't fault either player, man. This was an entertaining beginning to what I think is going to be a set that delivers. And I'm curious to see when Starvation's on your brain, what happens when you take it to the extreme on a map like Carmel. Because we have got that French sushi matchup coming up next. And I mean, that one on Carmel, I feel like it's one that can go either way because of the gold issues that exist in the game's dynamics. All I'm knowing for sure, all I'm certain of, I think we're going to see a lot of raiding from both players again.
Yeah, 100%. I'm thinking at the end of the day, like, which civilization needs gold more? I don't know, honestly. Like, it's an interesting dynamic there once again because you do have the ability to just go mass Appalachia as well, to a certain extent, or mass horsemen. That's always good for French in the face of danger. And there's a ton of food. There is an absolute ton of food. You're also incentivized to get a keep up early. As the French to secure some, like, the big gold in the middle. That'd be very interesting to see how exactly that one's going to be playing out. Like, Carmel is such a, I want to say weird map because there's just so much food. When you think, okay, surely my opponent, he's got to go for a farm transition. Any moment now, any moment, there's got to be a farm transition. Joke's on you, farm transitions on this map happened like 30 minutes into the game.
I agree. I think the craziest one I had is when Carmel first came out, and it was, I think it's LucifroN versus Wham, actually. And it was 38 minutes into the game. And Wham was trying to have some like 2,000 plus food income. I just assumed he had farms already. And I was like, this has to be it. I mean, there's no way Wham's just going to pump a new wave. He's going to win. And then you just watched his income go from like 2.4, 2,000 food income, somewhere around there, down to 200. I was like, what happened? 38 minutes into the game. That's how long it took for the food to run out. Now, it has been nerfed. There's now 2 less tiers. So 36 minutes in the game, they'll run out of food. But let's get ready to hop into it. Carmel, a map of gold starvation. And 2 civs that love their gold. They thrive on it. But they're just as eager for the food. LucifroN the French in the green and CsO to the east with the shoe sheet in the orange for game number 2.
Honestly, KP, I'm very happy. I'm very happy what the developers did with this map, introducing a new type of gold mine with less gold.
Agreed. Like, I think it isn't just this map either. Enlightened Horizon is such a blessing because of this vein. They took the folly and the errors of the creation of forts, and I think they fixed it with Enlightened Horizons. And a big part of it was the addition of these smaller gold veins.
Yeah. Not only do you run out of gold quicker, it also means that if you fortify a gold vein, it still doesn't last that long. Like, you're going to have to go from gold vein to gold vein to gold vein within the span of 60 nights.
Yeah, and it has that Regions feeling. So if anyone's watched Regions, they'll remember that map. Once it was figured out, once you got to the mid-late game, the outcome was always decided by who got a keep drop on the central gold. Well, this one can be similar in that regard, considering there is only one big gold vein, and it is an 8,000 gold vein in the center of the map.
A lot of resource there, definitely, to find around. Like, that 8,000 gold vein, that's pretty much the same worth as, like, 6 of these smaller gold veins. So, almost worth as much as all the remaining gold veins in the middle of the map.
It is a ridiculous
Sometimes
haul.
you even see, like, the small gold vein right next to the large one in the middle. Then it's even more value.
Yeah, I think the most common configuration is, like, 1 gold each side of them. This time it seems to be a gold one side and a stone one side. But in terms of picks, you know, this is interesting. I think this is a map where I would usually favor Jean over a French pick if you have it, because of that gold detail, right? Like, for French, it's about having more economy so that you can gather more stuff and produce more stuff. The problem with that is because the gold veins are small, there's less to gather. Whereas for Jean, you discount that gold, use it well. Same logic as why Chinese and Shushi are theoretically so good on this map, Rus as well, is when everyone else is running out of gold, they can just afford to, you know, remortgage the house, get themselves a new Mercedes-Benz, and still have enough for retirement.
Yeah. The score is getting flipped in just a second. It is 1-0 for CsO at the moment. So CsO did win the first game.
Wait, CsO won the first game? Oh my god, what a set. That's right.
Oh my god.
What a god. All right, so we could talk about unit compositions in this matchup, but let's be totally real. CsO. I think we know what he's going to build. Right?
I mean, CsO isn't playing French here. CsO's playing Shuri's Legacy. We could... Oh my god, that's a sad meditation garden.
I mean, it's like 25 wood, 50 gold. It's...
Is it 50? I think the small ones only give 20 gold.
I thought they were 25. I could have sworn, because like the bigger ones don't give more.
They do not. I'm not sure now, actually. Oh my god, that one would have been perfect, but it's a long distance to walk with your villagers.
So sometimes you can get the broken one. If you have a look at LucifroN's northern boar, you'll see.
Yeah, that's a good amount. Now that's a manor if I've ever seen one.
Mm-hmm. Yep, a full food manor. And I mean, I think it's weird because on this map, it looks broken, but then you remember you have 58 deer on the map. So, like, is it really that important? And I should have known. LucifroN has been doing this. He done it in the KPMMs he played in. On Carmel, he's a really big believer in 2TC French.
On this map, yeah.
Yeah.
On this map, I can definitely see it. Like, securing the boar, for example. Like, look at that. You can secure a boar. You can secure, like, double deer pack with a TC. Yeah, it's just crazy value. I can definitely see why you would go for that.
And CsO is going to be doing standard.
He's not even being too greedy about it. He's not even being too greedy about it. He's going to put up, like, not just 1, but 2 knights, I feel like, before he's going for the second TC.
Makes sense.
Never mind, he's going eco upgrade.
Okay, wait. Yeah, I was about to say, we're at least getting the 1 knight, because you want to be able to try and play blocker towards the pro scouts. You're anticipating it's going to be happening. Another thing is, by going for this knight, you can force CsO to react with spearmen. That's usually what happens, which is advantageous if you're going full greed behind it.
Yeah. Something else to keep in mind, like, we had so many good nerfs, reasonable nerfs, I want to say, on pro scouts. Look at how slow this scout is going to move now while carrying a deer. It used to be that you can kind of like trick around. Oh my god, look at that.
So slow
as well.
that the ball might just eat his face off. It's like, oh, whoa, you're going to kill my best friend Bambi? Hell no, get out of here. Like a LucifroN
check meditation garden. I think
we must educate.
and it is 20 gold per. I'm not 100% sure. No, it is
It's
actually
25,
50. Okay,
yeah.
then maybe I just looked too early when I built next to it.
This has changed everything. Yeah, it's so I think
Everything but nothing at the same time.
if you remember when Meditation Garden first came out, it was one of those things where it was never true, but you think it was. There was a time where a lot of people thought that big veins gave 35 resources or something, or even 50.
It was all the same.
Yeah, it was always the same. Like it's always been the same.
You were able to get like 200 plus gold per minute on Golden Pit.
Jeez, don't remind me. I mean, it was a lot of gold. So I would say in those days, it was a bit of a want because usually what you want was food. Like, right, before Pro Scouts meta, I think for Shushi, food was the #1 priority on a meditation garden.
Yeah. It kind of like decided on how greedy you can go with for Fast Castle Age, depending on how much food you get at the beginning.
Yeah, because like the thought process is the sheep will run out before the gold vein does and the wood does, right? So like if you have additional food surplus, then you are safer than your opponent. You'd have to take risks as early. But these days, because Shushi always do Pro Scouts, food almost feels like the least valuable resource.
Yeah, at least for like the first 15, maybe even 20 minutes.
Yeah. I think stone has also got up in value just because the semi-fast castle builds where you, by the time you've picked up relics and thinking 2TC, you've pretty much got the stone, or even in matchups like this, just for hand cannon slits is incredible.
That's true. In many situations, though, I feel like Pro Scouts can also lead to a fake, like kind of fake way of feeling of security when it comes to your food economy. I feel like plenty of times we've seen players just run out of their deer underneath the mill and have no backup plan. Like it's like one of the main skills that we see at the high level, a smooth farm transition. And that just doesn't happen when players go for Pro Scouts, or it rarely happens. Like players really have to pay attention to that.
Yeah, it's kind of like when it's kind of that idea of having like an auto builder in a game. And you're like, well, this is great. It's doing everything for me. And then you realize, wait, why have I got like 180 villages? Why have I got 15,000 words? Like, you trusted the system. You have to take command of it yourself.
The system failed.
Yeah, this is how Skynet is born. Stop it. So yeah, I agree on that. Like, I've seen it so many times because even more so nowadays with how hard it is to get those deer home. Before, there was a reasonable assumption you would get the deer. Now it's so frequent that we see this reality check of, oh, I actually got like nothing.
It's like when you're playing on console and you have those like little resource split wheels where you can decide, okay, the AI has got to take over your villagers and send them to different resources.
Hey,
And I don't know, but for me, when I tried it at Gamescom, it never really worked for me. Like I had like, oh my god, I put everything to food. Why are they still gathering gold?
I mean, like, I'd be there and I'd be like, I'd select the wood and go, I'm going to do the Marine Lord build. 2,000 wood later. We'll make this work now. I will never make it work as well as he does. But there are some players, I mean, we had Dumu earlier today. I think Dumu is infamous for that, where he likes to overgather a resource and then switch. So I would say, for those that are playing on console, there is a way you can make that work. It's going to be very different than if you follow, say, like, Beastie Cutie's build orders, but it can be good.
I gotta give Demu like a good bit more credit there because he never really overgathers resource. It's more like he's a master of switching his workers around to have them working at all times. Like even if a resource is under attack, he switches around the workers to at least gather up a resource. Even if it's not the most optimal resource that he wants, he's got them working and he can use that later on.
Agreed. It looks like an overgather because you look at the UI and you're like, he's got 2,000. What's the point? Like, I think there's some players, like, for example, if you were to cover the nameplates and you saw a guy on Castle, but he had like 3,000 or something gold, like, Dumu's the guy I think of for that. And it's never a bad play because...
Okay, that I'll have to say. Like, Demu, he loves gathering a lot of gold, but...
He makes it work. It's an
Imperial
order.
Age is expensive.
Exactly, that's the thing. Like, compared to anyone else, when he hits that Imperial Age, you have more text coming in than anyone in the history of pro play. It's crazy. It's impressive. These two are a little bit more lean because of the fact that they both love to just pump constant aggression out into the field. And will you look at that, Crackety? It is a Mass Knights build coming from the Shushi.
It is. LucifroN, he did manage to get the H up in behind that, but now his second TC is about to get fully idled. And, you know, I've done the quiz. I've done the Angelica quiz a while ago, a good while ago. The answer is 4. 4 knights to kill the secondary TC.
Oh, well, luckily for LucifroN, there's only 3. Whew, dodged a bullet on that one. The villagers, however, are much easier to kill. I think the answer for that is 1. It takes 1 knight. And a little bit of a problem here, because with Guildhall, yeah, LucifroN does the right thing. He can't play knights, because Shushi can actually beat your knights due to the Dali horses.
Asterisk.
Oh, you're going to do we have to be standing still and not running around circles.
It always depends on the charge at the end of the day, and Candle Cells is not exclusive to the landmark.
That's true. Well, it's an extra 30 damage. I feel like you have to cycle charge, though, because the 20% extra increase is going to be an extra 4 damage per strike. So you're going to get about 10 strikes in. That's going to be, across the fight, an extra 40 damage, compared to Cantle Saddles, that is an extra 30, right? So it's close, but in theory, Dali horses should still win. But I think we've talked about this before. Like, melee attack speed is really a lie. It's not as good as you think it would be. And it's why Ghazi do better than horsemen. Because everyone's moving.
They don't, everyone's moving. You're never really going to get full use of your attack speed in most situations. Unless you're playing with knights. I feel like the micro behind knights is just let them do their thing in a fight for the most part. That's when they're the most effective, the most efficient, just due to their wind-up animation or whatever it is. I feel like whoever over-moves their knight in a knight-on-knight engagement typically loses.
No, I agree. It makes sense if you're trying to get a breakaway because of, say, French, you're trying to go for the charge. LucifroN, he's just fully focused on this arbitrary. CSO is fixated on that second TC. He may have taken the quiz as well. It's like, whoa, if I have 8 lances, that means I can kill 2 TCs. I think that's the way it works.
LucifroN is getting a good mass of arballetry behind it. The front line isn't looking too strong. He is adding in more spearmen behind this, but CSO, he's getting in a lot of relics. 2 already secured, 2 Shaolin monks already moving into the next 2 relics.
Yeah, and
he's about to get the closest one to LucifroN. This is an early engagement.
Yeah.
LucifroN outside of his comfort zone.
Yeah, wait, what was this archer range extension? He hasn't created any choke points with this. He's just been linearly moving out to try and protect the TC. You'd think his HRE trying to get E-repairs. No.
He wants to get the cheaper units in with a keep there, boosting up all of his production buildings. He does manage to thin out the knight count, but he did lose a great number of arballetry there.
He did, and I'm not sure how I feel about this monk play by LucifroN. It feels like the timing is late. We can see with God Vision that he's not really like to hit anything.
It's already 4 relics gone off the map.
Yeah.
There's only 1 relic remaining, and LucifroN's not going to get it.
Yeah, it feels unfeasible to be able to reach over. So instead, now the monkey boys are just here to try and heal, which definitely isn't the real reason he went for them.
Villagers going down. LucifroN does still have a good amount of villagers in the lead. Just the issue of getting them to work now.
What do you mean? They're just at the end of a fishing rod here. They're bait. That's the work.
Where are the arballetry? Oh, the arballetry went to the other side. They're trying to go after the spearmen, but
what?
The knights are the real issue here.
Okay, so I think LucifroN can afford some losses here. 2 TC, French, is just the nature of things, but there is a concern, the idle time, and also the leak over. Wood is starting to dry up a little bit on the south side. You would have thought LucifroN would be further away from this French threat. Instead, his wood gathering is right there.
He's got no more food access, KP. It's all about the berries here. How much food is in the guild hall? I think he's already taken it out. There's just too many knights. KP, I think he's dead. I think he already took the food out.
CSO has outknighted the knightliest Civ. Let it be known.
600. There we go. Now he took it out, but it's too late.
This man knows one style, but it works so well. I think I may have been mistaken. You know, year and a half ago when I referred to CSO as a Chinese LucifroN, I should have said a Chinese Zern.
Chinese Certain, really? I don't think Certain would have done that.
Well, yeah, no, that back in the days. You remember, like, I think I used to call the full French Knight build the Zerton build because it was him every single game.
Really? Did he do that? Okay, I know certain more like a player that still likes to like play it slow, but like the way I always know that it's certain when he's smurfing on ladder is when there's like an outpost at on every single gold mine in the game.
Oh yeah, no, I'll agree. The pacing is different, but the strategy of I like knights maybe a little bit much was like where I always fought zone for that. And I mean, CSO has just taken that and then added in the aggression, right? He's just the professor making the perfect Powerpuff Girls here. Instead of it just being the little ponies, it's also a little bit of aggro that leads to this. And all of a sudden, we have a scary situation for LucifroN. He is back up against the wall. If he loses this, he is out. He will not qualify. And also, a win like this, I believe, would actually then guarantee that Wham could not qualify.
Ooh, I don't like this next civilization draft here, KP. We're going to be seeing Jean against Malians.
Please don't go range Jean. Please don't go range Jean. Please don't want to.
Yeah. I would not want to be Jean in this situation. That is a very, very tough matchup.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've noticed this. I've recently seen players going range on against Malians. It's weird to watch. I think the thought process is to try and deny pro scouts a bit cleaner, but the reality check is you're just going to die to javelins every day of the week.
That's the thing, right? Like that's what makes this matchup just so tough to deal with. Like, as Jean, what can you really do in order to put up pressure? Whenever there's a fight, like mass Donzos already take out one of your knights pretty much immediately, and the cooldown on the spear throw is very, very short.
Yeah, 15 seconds, not too bad considering, especially if you get it going early, you can just snipe. I think the scary thing for me here as well, if this was French versus Malians, you could actually just scale, tempo, feel good. Jean's different. Jean is economically weaker than French at the start, but over a long distance of feudal better, right? Because the discount adds up and also the safe resources. But you can't really afford that long feudal. I don't feel like you want to have a super long feudal against Malians because that's going to lead to a lot of Donzos and then a lot of javelins. And we know what a lot of javelins means these days for Malians. That means Farimba is on the menu.
And Farimba is very scary. You're basically allowing your javelin throwers to work as a pseudo like archer unit, like fast archer unit, while also being tanky enough to dive defensive structures.
Yeah, it kind of feels like they're a pseudo everything, right? Like they're decent at dealing with armored units. They're obviously an anti-range. They're a raider against villages. The only thing they don't do is siege buildings, which, I mean, I don't want to give the devs ideas, but considering how strong Javelineers are already, it may already have gone on their
give them the
whiteboards.
Torch damage.
Yeah, just give them flaming javelins, you know?
Dude, it's so unrealistic. Donzo's got torches, but they throw spears. Javelin throws spears, but they don't get torches. Man, this unrealistic game, dude.
And Malian's such weak civ. Why Donzo have shield but not be able to take range damage?
Dude, I looked at the win rate on every 4 world, and did you know in this specific elo bracket, Mali actually has a low win rate?
Whoa.
Dude, that's how I can already see Reddit right in front of my eyes.
Wait, you done that too? I looked and AoE4 World told me that Jean is OP. I checked some gold replays and she's like just winning every game. We should probably nerf her. Maybe remove her legs.
To be fair, I do that too. I go over on AoE4 World, I'm like, okay, which elo bracket has the highest win rate for Delhi? And I'm like, oh my god, Delhi's so broken. Like, look at this.
Oh god, I can already just see the people doing that with Ottomans as well. It's like, this civ. Look, he had 30 great bombards. It's not reasonable. We might get to see that, by the way. LucifroN have the Ottoman pick for later. I'm always gutted when Delhi's on one side, not on one side and Ottoman's the other. Because I think Ottoman versus Delhi is one of my favorite matchups in the game.
You gotta look at win rate and game length correspondence there.
Oh, true.
The longer the game goes, the better it is for Ottomans. After 30 minutes, dude, that's when they really start popping off.
Yeah, you know, it's like Order of the Dragon, very OP. I found out in low-ranking games because they only build 40 villages, so the army size is actually pretty good. Anyway, we are getting into game number 3. We knew LucifroN had to get creative, he had to get different. Well, how about this? It is going to be Dark Age aggro from Jean into CSO's Malians.
CSO, oh, this could be really good up against CSO because you look at where the golds are. three, like pretty much all of his gold is on the left side of his base. There is one on the other side, but it's very far away. CSO, he is already playing with the idea of going for Dark Age barracks. Wait, did he open up? Are there no straggler trees on this map? There must be straggler trees.
There
right?
is. No, we definitely put straggler trees in. He just chose lumber
He
camp.
went for the lumber camp.
So he wants the pit mine and he wants the spears. That's why. It's very different, man. I haven't seen many people do this, but it makes sense.
That delays the timing so much, though.
So I think I understand the logic here, though. This is a Jean-specific thing. Because normally what you can do with the Donzos, you scale 4 or 5, and you just snipe the villager, right? But that doesn't work against Jean. She has 150 HP and heals. So you actually need constant presence here if you want to try to contest her. I think it's good.
Yeah, the bonus HP is going to be very good there up against the Donzo Spears, but I think CSO, he's kind of handicapping himself there with this play. Is Jean already moving across? She's not moving across yet. I don't think he can go for only Spears. I think you really do need that outpost from Jean.
I mean, I'm waiting for him to pull her.
Yeah, the thing is you only need like 3 Donzos, and you just put them on stand ground, and they're going to automatically throw their javelin whenever it's off cooldown.
I mean, even if they melee, they've got melee armor. They mitigate 15% of your damage. So, like, you're going to lose in a straight numbers fight as well. There we go. So, Israq's now built. First Donzo coming, and Jean's being pulled. So, CSO needs to be fast about this. Like, this feels slow because of the pit mine, but I don't think you bait your opponent into committing Jean if you don't have that pit mine is the problem.
These 2 houses, they're going to go down. So CSO, he's going to get forced to rebuild houses inside of his base. Not where you want to build them, but, you know, it's necessary.
Good thing I built the lumber camp. Swag glasses.
I mean, he still has 450 wood around his TC. Like, I feel like at this point we could have already been at 3 Donzos, since he only built 2 of the 2 cabins.
Your mistake is assuming he only wants 3 Donzos. He wants 30 Donzos.
It doesn't stop you from going for the lumber camp later on.
No, that I want as many Donzos as possible, all right? And I want them with no breaks, crackety, okay? Like CSO.
Does he see the outpost?
CSO and his Donzo spam is going to be like that person in chat. It's like, why is there an ad break here? No breaks. He's starting to poke, but like, this is... You can't stop Jean. I don't know, like...
Yeah, it's not possible.
There literally wasn't a scale point for Donzo, if we're being realistic about this. Even if he'd done the straggler trees, I don't think you get enough to stop her doing this. You have to dive her.
Oh, I think you do.
You have to dive her, though. You can't poke her.
Yeah, but that's fine. Like, diving her is fine. If you had, like, 2 more at this point in time, you could dive her. She doesn't have armor at this point in the game.
And she builds this so fast as well. So dive comes in. It's just... Wow. Wait.
Now it's delayed.
You call that a slap? Oh, God.
There we go. Outpost is up. And he's going to stick around. Okay. Yeah, I mean, just stick around. Okay, he's going to chop some wood, get some experience that way.
He's like, I guess we're all just
cool
building Dark Age lumber camps, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, by the way...
The thing is, like, just chopping wood and then you go over to gold, reset the amount of resource that you have.
Yeah, you farm XP, yeah. Because you're going to have to walk home, so you're just going to miss out on so much anyway. You might as well be here for the aggro point.
Yeah. Or, KP, or we get the forward school of cavalry.
Please stop. Why would you do that
like
when you've got a perfect trade route from here? Just walk into the corner. Yeah, walk to the north corner. You build a chamber of commerce. CSO will never find it. Boo! Boo! I mean, come on.
Oh, man. No proxy conk.
Disappointed in him for not just cramming that cock in the corner. So instead, it's going to be a sock. Back at home. Jean is still running around, wondering what her role and goal in life is. I think he actually... Is that a place down? It's a house he built, not a lumber camp? At this point, it feels like a lumber's not that valuable. There, yeah, house. Built where it can't be seen.
Kind of dangerous, because he's got to burn down the house. He's got
built where it can't be seen. Definitely built where it can't be... Oh, no.
Oh, no. Yeah, he's going to have to rebuild that.
But it was XP, at least.
Yeah, luckily this is not Mongol, so at least no bounty gain, but that's 50 resources, right?
Oh,
Look
yes.
at that. CSO Great play. CsOH, he's got enough units to easily just go over to another gold vein.
2-8 goals. I think it needs to catch up. We're up to 12 Donzos now.
He
Dear God.
surely at some point is considering feudal age, right?
No!
Right?
Kill the outpost!
No, he's going for it.
Full divide!
Oh, and Jean just went away. Jean can't repair now.
Spears are going to come out to play, but not really able to do any damage here. If you time it right, you can ungarrison stab, get back in and get a shot, right, between the attack speed intervals, which I think is what LucifroN's trying for. But it's just too many spears, so outpost will go down. And he even tosses the torches across on that poor little spearman.
Tried to get the scout. Didn't work out.
All right, and now you just get them all low.
HF's coming in.
You get them all low, and then you let them run out of range, and then you hurl a giant javelin in their face.
Now you would think that LucifroN's in a great spot because CsO invested a lot into this, right? Wrong. Donzos are still, like, at any stage, they're a good meat shield at least to have.
Yeah, and it's like...
up against John, which wants to make cavalry anyways.
Exactly.
Like, this is the worst situation to be in right now if you're LucifroN.
It gets worse than that, right? So, like, if you want to go pro scouts, that's now blocked by Donzos, and it's even worse than that. Crackly, if you saw 11 Donzos, you want to go range Jean really badly, don't you? Like, you can
Actually,
feel
no. Like, if you see
hovering
11
the button.
Donzos, you want melee Jean for the cleave.
You reckon? You don't think they'll just
100%.
kill it?
No, melee Jean is all the way to is the way to go there. 100%.
I mean, I think he should go melee Jean. I agree, but the more Donzos you see, the more
It's
temptation
optimal.
comes in, right?
No. The more Donzos you see, the more you want to go melee Jean. Legitimately.
Not scared of all those javelin throws?
Not really. Jean, like melee Jean has a lot more armor than range Jean.
That's true. She has got the 2 ranged armor, 225 HP. And there we go. Melee Jean in. LucifroN has not fallen for the trap. Thank God. Like, this would actually just be a 3-0 if he'd gone ranged.
Yeah.
And I don't... I see
might
it so
still
often.
be. Like, this matchup is so horrendously tough. Like, look at this archer here. The Donzos might just one-shot one of the archers with their spearman throw.
Yeah, you're probably going to have to wait until you're at least, like, 6 archers in to feel good. Because the other ridiculous part is, you know, you think, wow, that's a very long spear, Crackety. I mean, a spear that long, it's got to be very heavy. You couldn't really, like... There's no way you'd be able to throw that further than, like, you know, someone with a bow with, like, tensile strength, like, whittling an arrow, right? Like, there's no way. And then you
Surely
realize... Like, then you realize, for some reason, they do throw it further than you. They throw it 1.5 tiles further. They throw it further than a javelin thrower. And that, to me, just sounds like false advertising.
It's kind of crazy. Yeah, I mean, I get it. You want to have the spearman throw come out before a cavalry charge hits. But just make the spear throw quicker and give it less range, right?
Yeah. Like, let's at least dial it down to 5 range. I wouldn't even mind it being at 4 range, like, and then they just go, you know? Bloody crazy.
CsO, though, he's in a precarious spot right now because he doesn't have any food remaining inside of his base. He has to go for berries and cattle. He is getting pro scouts in now. Question is, does he have enough of a timing here? He's only just now getting his first javelin in there. And LucifroN, he's also going for pro scouts, and he's catching up in the archer department.
Definitely feels like he's losing the race right now. There's a risk that the central pass is just going to get blocked by archers. And that means that 2 deer stacks will be going to your opponent, right? So that'll be a 3-1 split. So CsO definitely needs to start posturing soon. Otherwise, it will just turn into a food game in which technically Marlins don't lose because they have got Cal. But all of a sudden, LucifroN can look to scale to that night point that Jean so covets.
Alright, just hovering around that gold vein together with the scout. CsO not gathering anything right now, so it's all just passive income for him. Which is good. Like, passive income, Marley, that's synonymous. But it's not going to be enough for, like, very, very fast javelin production. And now there we go. Pro Scouts coming in. LucifroN, he's getting confirmation on that, and the archers are following up right behind that.
Yeah, only 2 javelins to contest, so should be somebody you can potentially poke at. Unless they, I mean, you could sack a Donzo to get the scouts home. Actually seems like it'll work out quite nicely. So yeah, we'll pretty much reach the TC. Maybe 1 scout down. Oh, nice bait. Forces the cleave on nothing. It's like defense mechanism,
go.
like, please don't touch me.
Yeah, and one of the scouts going down here is actually pretty big for CSO because these scouts are food expensive, and his food right now is very expensive as well, since he is relying on cattle. Next tier pack, moving on to. Was front following up.
This is such a bad spawn. I mean, we talked about the gold, but the deer spawn there as well for CSO. Like, there's no reason for LucifroN to split east and west on this map.
Yeah. If he had villagers out right now to like get another outpost up here, it would be very tough for CSO to stop that at this moment in time. There are some javelins out there, but not enough yet in order to start one-shotting. That's the important point here, the important turning point.
Yep, javelins, barely inching away alive. I have to remember, Donzos are premium spears, so worth more XP as well.
Yeah. Once again, deer getting denied, and now the forward deer, or the front deer from CSO, nothing that he can really get there because LucifroN, he just took them away.
I mean, this is a worry on this map. Like, you know, Pro Scouts has been nerfed to the point that I don't think it's every single game is that on Sacred Grove, but that central lane is still just a critical part because the double deer spawn, and it's a guaranteed thing, by the way. It always happens every game, double deer there. So, I know a problematic detail. I think CSO has so many Donzos, but it just feels redundant here. I mean, you could argue keeping LucifroN away from mass knighting. I don't think that's the case, though. I think instead, LucifroN just has to change the script, right? Focus on just raiding the sides.
I don't think Donzos are necessarily redundant. I mentioned this earlier. Like, at either point, they're great to have as a meat shield.
Yeah.
Just having a lot of them. And also, like, LucifroN will want to eventually go into mass knights with the archers, but it just makes it very tough for LucifroN to do so.
Does mean you're potentially feeding a lot of XP across the genre, though, is always the concern with this type of approach.
Yeah. Ooh, now we're getting siege engineering, so LucifroN looks like he wants to go for a push onto the pit mine here. But CSO, he's got more military. I don't think he can realistically go for a push there. He's got a lot of gold, he's got a lot of wood. And now with the deer that has been ferried back, he should also have a lot of food. Oh,
what did he discount, by the way? He must have been discounting the archer ranges.
TC.
Okay.
No, TC and
the stables. Okay, yeah. Just felt like the stable protection was weak for that reason, yeah. So that's the thing. Compared to French, you know, French would have felt a lot better with this type of build because the archers, you don't really want to have to discount on them. It doesn't feel worth it. But you'd have more villagers instead when you're French, right? So, like, this is what I meant with the other game. It just feels a little bit harder to navigate for Jean compared to Originator Civ. Especially in this matchup.
So he's getting to the count where it's starting to get really dangerous with the javelin throwers. You're almost able to split them into two groups and one-shot archers once you get to 16 javelin throwers.
He's posturing again. Needs to be careful because...
Look at that. This is the point with Donzos.
I say it needs to be careful. I should have been asterisk that. Needs to be careful in terms of playing out into the open field. Usually Malians feel most content in their base because of those hybrid attacks.
The issue is, at this point in time, you won't be able to take a fight that is not underneath the TC from CSO. So you just gotta kind of like continue scaling more and more.
Oh look, another pony wants to die.
Almost. This one survives. Little of HP, but that's just because not all of the javelins have been thrown yet.
Next hill comes out. Even pins too. Nicely done there. John getting a bit of XP out of the engagement. Javelins start to target her, but not ideal. Don't get that bonus damage, of course, and it means the archers remain uncontested.
And LucifroN, he's trying to get enough archers out to be able to get the...
Okay, you don't see that often.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, that you don't see that often at all. I mean, that's the issue, right? Like, LucifroN took the majority of the deer here, so CSO, he definitely does struggle when it comes to food. The issue is, like, what LucifroN just did there is he tried to snipe out the javelin throwers with the archers. There we go. Guildhall is coming in. Nice play. If he gets the veterancy upgrade up on his archers, that's when he can start doing these fights where he can start picking off value units from range. But he can start actually picking off the javelin throwers with the archers. Because you suddenly get a lot more damage out of your archers with veterancy.
Yeah, and
go from 5 to 7 damage.
And that's the thing, right? I feel like the veteran arching timing is, in particular, super effective against Malians. The Donzos, obviously, the javelins don't mitigate as much damage. Also, the difference in attack speed means archers are favored. And then that leaves you with what? Counter solution being to go your own archers, which you don't tend to scale in Feudal's Malians. or go sofas, which takes time and a lot of resources. So definitely an opportunity here for Lucy. He is going to back up, understanding the dynamics of a tech choice.
Veterancy coming in.
CSO, he is going to look to march in here. Gold would be a premium target.
This is going to be difficult.
Yeah,
but LucifroN, he's gotten enough gold, and like LucifroN right now, he can just wait until the veterancy upgrades come in. He's got the benefit of having another gold on the other side of his base. He can move out there. He doesn't need to stick out to this gold.
And the problem is you're using an immobile army as well, full of infantry here. CSO, I mean, there's no signs of a tech up either. I think he understands he needs something for what he's done here. He can't feel good about the idea of just walking home and aging up himself now.
Issues as well, he kind of is needed back at home. I'm not sure if he has enough Donzos back inside of his base to defend if LucifroN were to go for like a night push now.
And this has to be a Farimba. I mean, Javeliniers just seems like the optimal. I don't know if
you don't have cattle, so it needs to be, yeah. I mean, you're not getting anything out of a Grand Filani Corral right now, like, at all. So it needs to be Farimba.
I don't think there's...
No other choice.
Yeah, I don't think there's any value in Freeborn here, right? Like, I don't think you can go Freeborn at all.
Yeah, I think LucifroN's done it. He's made his way through this matchup now.
Let's see if he can close out now.
Getting men-at-arms in. High food, low gold cost unit now, since he doesn't have that much gold income at the moment. Just got idled a little bit from the gold.
Yep, has all the archers to counter the Musafadi counter play as well. Now, if you get a full punt here, you should be able to kill Jean with this many units. It'd be important.
Yeah, but Jean's so close to aging up.
You get the snipe. He actually goes for the ponies instead. He's going to retreat into the base for Imbo. It's 25 now, building it up. Nice initial hit there. But this XP is clawing its way up. Jean, just 50 XP away now. Vrimba, he built it right at the back, but LucifroN seems to suspect something. He's pushing exactly that way. Javelins, this is starting to turn into a bad trade. The archer's attacking too quickly. He has to commit now. Jean almost dead. Doesn't get her.
Lives. He gets far enough away, and now the experience going to come in.
There it is.
And that's it. That's it. No way out.
This is over. Melee cleave time.
Damage.
And the divine restoration. I mean, there's no escape from this. CSO, he may be looking at the upgrades, but he simply has no time. LucifroN says, stop, halt, I'm back in it. He gets on the board.
My God, this was such a difficult matchup for LucifroN. Honestly, I didn't think it was possible. I honestly didn't think it was possible. Even halfway in between, I was like, okay, there's no way that's like LucifroN can win this. But the pullback at just the right point in time, just enough archers, age up comes in when there wasn't really a big military lead for CSO. That was crazy. I honestly can't believe that LucifroN managed to thread that needle in so well.
Elegantly done, and it kind of fits, right? You know, French is the signature civ, Jean kind of a mutation of that, so LucifroN had to be feeling comfortable going into this one in terms of civ pick. But you're right, like this matchup, time and time again, I just see it look very, very rough for the Jean side of things, but a critical turning point potentially here. We have to remember, like when we looked at the points at the start of the series between these two, you know, you had LucifroN and CSO, 2-point differential between them. I think a win overall here still would be enough just to knock LucifroN into qualifications. We'll have to get confirmation on that. But it is tight between them. At least he now has some hope, an opportunity here. The CSO is going to have to dive a little bit deeper into the set. And that's an interesting matchup. Mongol versus Delhi. I believe that's Mongols for CSO. And Relic River in particular, a very intriguing matchup with these two civs.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, like, Mongols, we talked about the Fast Imperial like being really, really good. But there's one civ where they can kind of struggle with up against when playing for that Fast Imperial Age, and that is Delhi. If both players get to Imperial Age, both Imperial Age landmarks produce units. Mongols produces units worth 700 to 800 resources per minute. Delhi, on the other hand side, more like 1,000 to 1,200 with 4 scholars inside. Since it's not just like a normal elephant, but it also has like 2 hand cannoneers on top of it. It's it's a bit better. Yeah, and it's not the only thing. Mangadai go up to 16 damage per shot with all upgrades. ranged elephants, tower elephants go up to 14 pierce armor. They don't care about the mass Mangudai.
And then, I mean, you can technically play hand cannoneers with the Khan Hunters. It's not too bad against the elephants. I feel it's like your only move to make. But tricky if you aren't setting up for trade. And I feel like Mongols aren't rushing to set up trade these days. And the gold veins are intentionally pushed to that north side in a way that you have to urgently rush out your base on a Civ that struggles to get those strong defenses up. So, yeah, it feels like for Mongols, you have to play fast in this matchup. And usually I'd say that's great because Relic River, you've got the fishing. But Delhi can actually outplay you on that detail, courtesy of the fact that fishing boats come with a bite.
I want to say if both players go for fishing, Mongols can still go for like the all-in Dark Age play onto the fishing, with Spearmen. Because if I remember correctly, like the fishing ships got nerfed. I think they used to do like 5 damage per arrow shot without bonus damage, and it got nerfed to 4, either from 6 to 5 or from 5 to 4.
So I think it was 7 at one stage, went down to 6, but then they perfectly hit. Then it got nerfed to 4, specifically in Dark Age, and scales up to its normal rate in Feudal. So yeah, they definitely hit a lot lighter. But we have to remember also things like the village can hang around to repair in a weird way, because you've got the Scholar that you can ungarrison to save him with. So there are some potential plays there. I've yet to see a Delhi player try something like adding in a racks near the dock. It sounds crazy, but like in theory, could work as well because of that Scholar.
Yeah, it's also like an issue, like having the Scholar out there, because that's your starting Scholar.
Yeah.
If you lose that one early on, that really puts a dampener on your tempo.
Yeah, and you miss out on key tech. So like, very important things here. Piety, the Skull's not going to be tanky in Feudal Age. The most important one, whenever you see this type of play in the docks by the Delhi, they're essentially sacrificing military efficiency. So they're very slow off the mark in Feudal Age.
It's going to be an interesting one, honestly. Like, this matchup in particular, this is also a great map in general for Delhi. Like, you've got like some very widely spread out sacred sites, and it's very tough for your opponent to like have units on every single sacred site.
And that's them with you. That's why the play onto the pond early is so important as well. It plays denial or secure, depending on which side goes for it. But let's see who's going to be feeling secure in this one. Relic River for game number 4. CsO still a match point, but LucifroN finally breathing life back into his series hopes here. And he is going to make a breathly rush for that south side dock.
Yeah, he is indeed moving out for that one. Like, CsO, did he scout that? He did not scout that.
No.
Does he suspect it, then, is the question. Can we take a quick look at his villagers? Is he gathering wood, or is he already on the sheep next to his TC?
He's covered sheep. Yeah, he hasn't touched wood.
He's sheep, okay. Yeah, he's not touching wood right now. I mean, he went for 1 drop-off from the wood, but yeah, this is a fast age-up build.
That's kind of wild. So LucifroN's going to get the jackpot.
Where is he going? Yeah, fast age-up. He's going out to gold immediately. That's really good for LucifroN.
I'm kind of shocked. So this is the thing with Mongols. Normally, the assumption is your opponent can't dock because what we talked about, you can just burn it down. Like, I have Spearmen, lol. But the reality check here is usually what Mongols do as a result of that is they go and dock themselves because no one else is going to do it due to the threat of racks and the burn down and paying them off. CsO has kind of contradicted that logic here by rushing Feudal. I'm curious as to what the value point is. It used to be you do this for something like Silvertree, but Silvertree has completely fallen off, and I don't think I'd ever recommend it against Delhi.
I think he might not be too aware when it comes to the fishing aspect here on this map at all, because this is how you would play this matchup on like a normal land map, because you can't really outpost rush Delhi anyways, because they still get the upgrades in for free, and they got a Scholar to heal up, can pull villagers and then heal up. Like, that's the thing as well. They get textiles for free, Scholar, and just heal up. He is at least leaning the deer, but I mean, speaking of upgrades for free, Pro Scouts is free too.
Like, thanks. Now I know exactly where they're going to be in a few minutes' time. Oof, that's a relief. Does Lucy still open Ghazi here? Because one problem I see in this matchup now, because you didn't have the military efficiency timing, Keshiks can just completely outblob you.
That's true, yeah. He's going to have to wait a long time for that.
You know, I just realized you can obviously run up that river, and you can go right up that little crack ravine in the north corner. So a mega, like not mega
Can
ram,
you
sorry.
run up the river? Like there, sometimes you can, sometimes you can't.
Don't ruin my dream here.
I don't
okay?
think you can here.
Next time you've got a free for all tournament.
You look at the minimap. You look at the minimap, and if you see like the water pulling all the way through without the cliff, then you know that you can run through. But it looks like there isn't a way through.
Oh,
like
you
the
mean
blue is not like a straight line.
Oh no, I'm not talking about the waterfalls. I'm talking about like absolute top north. Like because I think you can run up the side of that tree line.
Oh yeah, you can.
Yeah, so
imagine being Knights Templar up there and just gathering wood there.
Or my fault was you're playing a free for all regicide, right? Right, they're never gonna find you. Mongols pack
Yeah,
up
you
the
just hide your
landmarks.
Mongol landmark there. Yeah, you got to survive until the end. I'm not sure what you get from surviving up until the end there in a nomad.
Look, these are tournament strategies, Crackety. You know how it works. Next time there's a tourney, all right, and I get 10% of the earnings for this.
Points.
Yeah, there we go. You just have to RNG Mongols, which is getting much harder these days.
I did that. I did that when you were still able to like chop through tree lines with China, and during the Outback Octagon I hit my Great Wall Gatehouse in between.
You're a dirty
lines
son
because
of
the
a...
Great Wall Gatehouse didn't need as many tiles to build.
I still the most vile one I still recall was Corvinus as Mongols. Basically, had lost the game straight away, and he had 2 Mongol landmarks wheeling and dealing in tree lines around the map.
Disgusting.
Vile. How dare you, sir?
If I do it, it's fine. If you do it, man, that's ugly.
I mean, that sounds reasonable by me. Like, is that how the Nesta Bees work when you have to bring them out crackety? Like,
Oh, I actually don't. I feel physically sick when I have to make Nesta Bees.
okay, so you're not one of those like self-justifiers.
Or any form of siege.
You know, where it's like, I had to do it. It was me or them.
No, I don't make Nest of Bees.
So you don't
if
make
I do,
Nest
I
of
make
Bees.
like 1 or 2. I don't go up to like more than that. And even then I feel bad.
And you never make the elephants, right?
Typically not, no. I typically just don't
that's
play
a
Delhi
different
at all.
answer. Okay. But when you do,
When I do, I
bad
die in
alpha.
feudal age.
it's because you're rushing for those elephants. CSO, meanwhile, is rushing for aggression. I've seen this before. Oh, he plays this
We've
style
seen
really
the
well.
Mangadai.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and he's going out with the deer stones as well. So
Yeah.
we're getting the forward deer stones for the bonus movement speed, which means that Ghazi raiders are not going to be able to catch the Mangadai at all.
it's really smart. And then this means if your opponent doesn't react accordingly, you can feudal all in him and have mobility comp in front of his base.
We're getting archer range response still from LucifroN. Great play here. So isn't going to go for Ghazi Raiders. He's also walled off the bottom side of the woodline there, so it's going to be tough for the Mangadai to really find a way to loop around there. But I think the woodline's a little bit too far away for his TC to protect the villagers.
Yeah, they can sliver in a little here, especially with the scouting falcon. More are coming. I mean, this is the other problem. Now when you react
Yeah, it's just going
archers...
again. He's passing through.
With
He's gotta
archers
cancel
as
the lumber
well,
camp.
you're not as much
He's
of
got
a
to cancel
threat.
lumber camp. Yeah, if he doesn't cancel lumber camp, he won't have enough wood.
Okay, he did at
gets
least
cancelled.
top off the villagers. So none lost there is crucial for Delhi. They can heal off the damage. But this is a little bit infuriating. I mean, remember, he opened archers instead of Ghazi. If he had Ghazi right now, he could punish this because they'd be stuck. With archers, it's a little bit more, shall we say, negotiate with me. You know, because if you shoot me in the
And
face,
he doesn't
I'll
have any
shoot you.
straggler trees anymore.
Wait, CSO's moving away, though. I don't think he
Oh,
realized.
he's got the reinforcements there. He's got reinforcements coming around the other side, so he's just circling around with 2 groups of units.
Oh, here we go. Yep, he arrives. And
With
this is
the
the
Khan
other...
Hunter as well.
And that's the crazy thing. The Khan Hunters also can punt falcons, right? So, like... Am I remembering that correctly? No, scouts. I'm getting mixed up.
they can.
Yeah, they can, yeah.
No, the Khan
Why,
Hunter can do that.
why can
Khan Hunter can do it
everything
too.
throw falcons? Like... It's ridiculous. Like, it's so hard to actually hide what you're doing these days against Mongols.
It is. And look at that, LucifroN. He's starting to float up so much food just because he can't spend it.
Even Ghazi would cost him some wood. This is smart, though, with the archers. Although maybe the villagers helping as well? I don't think you can afford the extra wood tile now. Uh-oh.
He's got so much food. It hurts, man. It hurts. He
Just build
can't
a
afford it.
marketplace. Wait a second. Oh my
That
god.
costs wood too.
This is all because of the fishing. Like, if he didn't fish, he wouldn't have this type of wood starvation.
Oh man, and now the Kashik's coming as well. This CsOH is gonna all in this on just mass Mangudai and Kashiks now.
This is ridiculous. He's got a little bit of wood, so a few more archers coming in, but like now, man, you need spearmen or Kasi.
He can't tell yet. He doesn't know. The Deerstones also hasn't really moved forward. Right now, it's just boosting up the speed of reinforcement troops. Never mind. Doesn't even do that. It's packed up.
It's like, no, I'm doing this too well. It would be unfair. I'm an ethical Mongol spammer. I'm like Crackney when he plays Nest of Bees.
Totally ethical, dude. I only play Nest of Bees with Mongols Fast Imperial Age.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was saying yesterday, everyone's going to try to replicate that Anatan build. You just need to roll Nest of Bees 5 times in a row and you can win a game.
Easy.
I do look forward to those.
Now we're getting the Ghazi Raiders in. At least he's got a lot of food to spend on them now.
Yeah.
And with efficient production, he can get them out quite quickly.
I guess that's the perks of being stuck so long, is usually military efficiency not being there with Stingy. However, with the Kashiks here, I mean, this is problematic. Is that a marketplace? Please, for the love of God, tell me that's a marketplace.
It's a blacksmith.
Of course it's a blacksmith. Why would we build a marketplace when we can't get wood? Oh, God.
CsOH not even committing, but LucifroN, he's feeling the pressure.
Okay, this is good, though. LucifroN, Sanctity just kicked in. And remember, he's got that scholar on the south side sacred site. So this could start to alleviate some of his pains, because now he'll be able to trade for wood. Then again...
He can also use that scholar now to, like, get like, boop, boop, I'm over here. Starts capping the sacred site. This is going to force at least some reaction from CsOH. And he can always just garrison back inside the dock.
I don't know if you want the full reaction with the Kashiks coming like this, though. It's a bit tricky. I mean, you obviously can just go for the archer ship play, or even a demo pump. Well, it's still not going to one-hit kill Kashiks, though. Might one-hit kill your own base, though.
Scholar's going to be tanky enough to survive the initial charge and hit and blow there, so he'll be able to still keep the Scholar alive. Maybe even kill him with enough of these fishing ships here.
Quite possibly. Not sure he realizes this. There you go. Keshik needs to pull back. Army's still standing here. We have got Undermesh queued up, but LucifroN needs some time. Remember, gold has not been an accessible commodity for LucifroN in this game. Nor is wood. Nor is stone.
That's a lot of Kashiks that he's going into. Yeah, this mass Kashik play right now, like LucifroN just straight up does not have an answer to this whatsoever.
Feels like CsOH is just priming for the point he can dive. Even got the signal arrow coming to allow for it. Signal
It's going to
arrow,
be a lot more attack speed with it as well.
Didn't they buff that as well? I think it was the cost was brought down and improved.
Yeah, the cost got buffed.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah. So the attack speed arrow is going to last a lot longer. Either that or movement speed, whichever one he's going to choose.
Yeah, I think it's weird because the way it's written is incorrect. It only gives like an extra 1.5 or 2 seconds on attack speed. So not crazy.
It is weird. Okay, decent engagement. Start to the engagement here from LucifroN. Actually, really good start of the engagement here. Mangudai getting completely pushed apart. Yeah. Where are the rest of the Kashiks? There's only 4 here, but he's got 9 out on the field.
But look at the timing. The undermesh as well. That's the other thing here. CsOH needed a few more seconds. He only just got that extra layer tankiness. So full strike back there. LucifroN able to now force the retreat. And CsOH, his own gluttony catching him here. Because look at the macro. Either lost track or was thinking about castle. But either way, all of a sudden new problems emerge. Because this is a Delhi game where the scholar count is not deceiving on military. There's only 4 of them. This is raw military mass for LucifroN.
Yeah. And economy is also looking good for LucifroN. Still has those fishing ships working for him. Grant, they're not going to work forever. The shoreline fish is going to like expire at some point. But this is a great for his tempo right now. And I mean, it shows off, right? Like he's got so many Ghazi and archers in combination. That's just not something that he could afford otherwise.
No, it's
Even
crazy.
with all the auto time.
It is actually crazy to think of how this game started. That you could afford anything that costs wood and... Oh, boy. Well, that's pinned. CsOH's like, I don't get it. Like, I could have sworn in Feudal Age you have 2 landmarks. It's around here somewhere. LucifroN just dives past it. He's been a little bit careful here, though.
Coming in now. There is no Pierce Armor in yet. Pierce damage in yet for LucifroN.
No, and
So right now, the archers are not that good.
no, he needs to rely on the Ghazi to win this fight, but maybe an awkward way for them to engage. Check this. It's going to be a V formation, so no overwhelm by the Ghazi. Keshik stand their ground. Counter's getting a little bit low, and the trade on the backside is at least looking good, but the Yam does allow disengage. At the end, it's like the Keshiks.
It's not enough.
It's not enough of them. They are going to be overwhelmed here. LucifroN now extending his lead in a position to potentially dive the deer next, but he will require a few torches.
Back to the silver tree. Silver tree, deer stones.
Who cares? Whatever it is, it's never going to be what it is.
It's a landmark.
It's a
They
wagon.
look the same if they're packed up. It's not me, it's them.
Yeah, it's not my fault, guys. Like, whoa, don't judge me for my comments on this. All these landmarks look the same. Look at it. It's just, this could be a Gur. It's a very tanky Gur.
That girl looks different.
Don't care. It's packed up. I'm shooting it. I can't believe that he's still not moved it. Like, I'm starting to wonder if it's actually stuck in the tree. Is it stuck in the tree?
Dude, it might legitimately be stuck in that tree. But if it was, then surely you would have sent a villager out to chop that one tree, right?
I don't know what to think of this, but like, it is looking like it somehow got bugged. Because he did deploy it and then undeployed it, and it hasn't moved since then. But like, but here's the thing, like, I think you'd be warranted to ask for a remake because of that. But CSO wouldn't have because of how good his position was, right? Like earlier on.
Yeah, but now we're getting... Earlier on, yes, but now we're at a point where it's 13 to 57 military and LucifroN's flirting with Castle Age.
Yeah, I mean, this is the problem. It's kind of like when you watch a referee give advantage to a team that's been fouled, but after a while he drops his hand, right? You can't, after you fail to finish him, go, okay, can we like because my deer stone wasn't there the whole time. Oh my god. I mean, we'll have to double check that. But it does look like it is just stuck.
He's still trying to go for mass Kashik here.
Siege engineering now come from LucifroN, so you know, with this many archers, he could look for an all-in, but he could just as easily skip to the next stage and move us on to a game number 5.
It looks very likely at this point in time, right? Getting even more Kashyyyks in now, though. LucifroN, he is reinvesting, so no Castle Age yet.
CSO, I mean, this many Kashyyyks, it's awkward against Deliafine as well. Because let's say we both go Castle. Wow, you've got all this heavy cavalry. Queues up one War Elephant. Anyway.
That's true. Both the Kashyyyks now going down this time. LucifroN's got the pierce damage in. CsOH's not too far away from Castle Age as well. But it's definitely going to be LucifroN that gets it in first. House of Learning coming in, 26 villagers on that. This is what I appreciate and hate with Delhi. It makes so much sense rushing the age up so much because you're getting all the tech ups in for free. Yeah. So you want to have it up as soon as possible.
Especially with this many archers, just vetting them up would instantly win the game. CSO, I think he knows what's up. It's just sad the way this is happening. Forced to dive when he's trying to tech himself. So Keshik's arguably shoved away. LucifroN will make it to the third age. 7 Scholars is not going to give an insanely fast tech unlock speed here, though.
It's still going to be decently quick, I want to say. Like, especially with efficient production, like on the military production buildings, it's going to be fairly quick. Separate out now also coming in for CSO.
Yeah, and CSO going in again here makes sense in a way. Kashyyyks. Yeah, like his thought process is correct. My opponent tech, I should punish that. But the numbers were already so against you, it always felt ill-advised. So minus, what, 4 or 5 more Kashyyyks? And now teching up with only 7.
That's just what happens when you weren't able to punish the fishing ships.
Okay, and this is the weird thing about Mongols. While I think this map is very good for Mongols, I think Castle Age is not. Think about where you have to build a step redoubt. Think about where it's going to go. Look at how far out of his real base he is with that landmark.
And he's got villagers all the way at the top side on the deer. His economy is very exposed, and I think LucifroN, look at that. There are some units, probably Ghazi Raiders, going towards just that side. Actually, they're just looking for that Kashyyyk. No, they're not looking for that Kashyyyk. they know exactly what they're looking for.
Yeah, there is an outpost, so I mean, you could actually burn this down, I think, this many torches.
He's gonna burn down. Like,
Yeah.
This is so many Keshiks. No way.
Because the thing is, like, the torch damage isn't attached to veterancy, it's attached to age, right? So, like, he just has extra burn damage already.
A way to keep those villagers alive. No reinforcements nearby. CsOH tries to go for repair, but
Even
the
at night
sprinkler
now.
placement wouldn't help him.
No fortifications that you could try to go for instead. All on the base.
And immediately 4 relics being picked up.
Oh yeah, just casual deli things, you know.
And by the way, the 5th relic is right in front of LucifroN space. Like, he's getting every single relic here.
And getting a lot more than that. LucifroN now coming in from the north
All
side
the
flank.
upgrades.
There are spring
Not all of them
replacements
in queue,
coming.
but that's just
Yeah,
just
he'll
daily
get that.
mistakes that you can afford.
He's just getting what he needs. He's like, I got home blades, I got pakes, nothing else matters. Does he? Wait, he only had 1 outpost here. Are you kidding me?
Second one did just come up, but doesn't quite feel like it's enough at LucifroN. He can just go mass knights now. Has 1 sacred side, about to have all the relics, garrison inside. That's a lot of passive gold income with which you can just spam out these gold-heavy units now. You didn't spend any gold on your upgrades as well, so you still have that pretty much almost full gold vein inside of your base.
Now, you might be wondering in this situation why not war elephants. It's simply because it's only Keshiks. There's nothing slowing them down,
honestly,
right?
AP, he could be making only archers right now and it would work.
Agreed. Like, Keshiks are sad sometimes. I think the other thing as well is, like, war elephants would be a perfect counter to this. The problem is you just wouldn't get to fight, right? Like, you'd buy time for your opponent by doing that. So having a bit more mobility, and now with the crossbow switch, I mean, I just don't see a way for CsO to do this. The gold vein with the step readout is not going to last very long. At which point, how do you get to the next gold?
That's the fun thing. You don't.
You go, game 5. Choo-choo.
Maybe CsO is trying to stall for time for like a fast Imperial play. The issue is LucifroN's got an army big enough to immediately punish it with a dive. Quick enough where you do not have the leisurely pace in order to wait for units to mess up. And LucifroN knows where the economy is from CsO. So he's just going to go for it. Like, even if LucifroN's about to lose some units inside of his own base, it's worth disrupting the entire economy from CsO for it.
Well, all of a sudden you're now playing Mass Keshiks. You at least did get enough gold in reserve to build a few, but you're on the clock. And LucifroN, with such a huge military advantage, it's almost impossible to see a way in which he loses this next fight. Well, okay.
Summer is being researched for CsO.
I don't know how this ever turns into a true win, but triple wall. Okay. I thought we might slow down the use of it.
That's just a double. Well,
Okay,
he
he's got
still
one
has
more.
3 more relics that he can use.
Reload. It's like
He's got
muskets.
5 relics.
Wait, what about
but
these
that's a good
villages?
catch.
Hold on. Keshiks. Big clubbing coming in here. LucifroN, he needs to
that's
run
pretty
across with the
good.
relics. The body blocks cut off the rest from retreating. An absolute mask on the tree line. CsO now walks away. Now he's still behind on raw
Is it
economy.
enough, though, inside of the base from CsO? He's suffering similar losses. He managed to clean up the front line, though.
Wait, he gets bogged down on the Keshiks. The TC's adding a lot of fire in, so it looks like CsO will be able to hold his base for the time being. He's near the berries.
And the villagers once again.
Is this happening again?
Wait,
this is as wild as
is
game
this
1.
happening?
This is just as wild as game 1. CsO should be dead right now.
He should be. Actually, the archer, I mean, we talked about, right? Like, archers are still enough against the Keshiks here. Granted, there are some crossbows mixed in. But LucifroN still has a villager lead here.
CsO needs to migrate the tree line. There's only a handful of Keshiks left, and it is only archers now. So the Keshiks can absorb quite a lot of blows, so the TC can kind of trade out. He's bringing the rest of the heavy cavalry home. Despite a fantastic effort there by CsO to get ahead, he still finds himself almost 10 eco behind now. And LucifroN in the middle of a farm transition.
He's got wood for farms. I mean, he's got enough wood for it. I'm only a little bit miffed by the spot of the transition. Actually, second TC now for CsO. Okay, then. There's going to be a little cleanup there, though.
Oh, he's not looking either. Yeah, a little bit of a delayed reaction. Not that it should have made too much of a difference. But LucifroN, he's reskilling the Lancers again. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, the relics are going to allow him to just pump Lancers like crazy. And we have to remember, like, the Archers were already losing
The
value.
reinforcement is crossbows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what does he do now? I guess siege.
What can you go
static,
for
but
unit-wise?
the problem is anything that would make sense requires gold. He's gone 2 TC, which still doesn't solve the problems. I don't think here. Like
He's moving out to the gold mine at the top side there.
could you arch a spear
He's
to
going to build
survive?
a lot of outposts.
Because technically,
Honestly,
Archer's spear could survive, right?
I'm a little bit baffled by how much damage CsO was able to do, but I still, at the end of the day, think Ellie doesn't really care too much about that.
Really? What gives you that idea? Is it the 7x more technologies queued up right now?
Part of that, yeah. But also, like, the window is always still there for them to potentially reach Imperial Age with 5 relics and still a sacred site in their control. And once you get to that point in time, like, you could be behind 20 villagers and still be ahead.
Delightful Delhi.
He's going to at least have to delete some of the fishing ships soon, and then the economy score is going to look a little bit more even between them.
Yeah, I mean, that is going to suddenly give CSO the lead if that happens. But that is courtesy of the fact he has 2 TC. Now, LucifroN, I don't think he's seen that second TC. So this Lancer, is about to give him some key information. Right? Brother, please. There we go. He does see it, so he knows it's 2 TC. Lucy, once this farm transition is complete, I don't think it's going to matter.
That's the part. Like, the thing is, what can CSO do? Okay, he is starting to mix in horsemen. It's getting the upgrades on them as well. Horsemen are... You need so many of them against this.
It's worse than that.
He might
still
be able to keep LucifroN inside of his base.
Yes.
There's a lot of units coming in.
So, like, there's some other problems here as well. It's the fishing is going to scout a raid early on, so you just have to worry about your north side. So if you wall that, the farms are almost always going to get enough time to vacate the area. And these Keshiks, hesitant about the dive, man. They will just beat that one Lancer down, but no full dive. The crossbows are now arriving. With the Pakes, they have the extra range to engage with. Lack of a front line right now for LucifroN, but CSO entirely hesitant to commit. He's going for Imperial. He's actually... Is he?
He might want to, honestly. Like, I can see Imperial Age being, like, the one chance to, like, help you out here. The timing is just so niche, and he's got 7 horsemen, but this many crossbows easily clean up this many horsemen as well.
Even spears now from LucifroN, so he's looking for that full dive comp. Mahout's in soon. Also, this is key. We don't see it very often, but force march. Like, it's just going to allow you to flood into the step readout, whichever location you're looking for. And you cheeky son of a... He's building walls near the gold veins to try and lock placements, but also let him know which one's being harvested.
Oh, we're suddenly seeing a lot of sprinkle emplacements coming in. Some random walls coming in for LucifroN here as well. So many farms for LucifroN. But he's getting so many units now as well. Maybe there is little illegitimate timing here for CSO to get up to Imperial Age. And if he is able to thread that needle and get, like, good Mangadai upgrades in as well, there is a way. There is a way.
There is always a way.
Maybe he also needs
Mongol.
5 Nest of Bees. Yeah, maybe he just needs those 5 Nest of Bees. And look at what he did there as well. Look at the shrine there.
Yeah, monastic shrines.
He's boosting up. Yeah, he's boosting up all of those pastures.
It's a big change that they moved it from Imperial to Castle. We've seen it a few times already. It's becoming a key part of this type of meta strategy. And I don't know how I really feel about this fasting Mongol build. I know Mongol Main's like, please just give us the one thing KP, but my take, Crackety, this is an RTS, not a tower defense game. So why are we playing a tower defense game?
Once again, like, CSO, he's raiding the base from LucifroN. Is LucifroN gonna react? He's got a lot of units out in the middle. He might. Oh, he's gonna find the outposts. He found them. 2 sprinkle emplacements.
It's a decent amount of spears as well. Should be enough burst power to at least get through 2 of the outposts, but This is the full
CsOH
distraction.
using the window.
Yep, carving it on the way.
Using the window.
Wait a second.
LucifroN, he doesn't want to waste the time, I feel like, maybe with these outposts.
No, I think he needs to dive towards the main, and he needs it fast. Veterancy's on the way for archers. Yes, I mean, CsOH, I don't know if you have time to get archers here. That's balls.
If this was Mangadai, I could understand. Like, Mangadai deal great damage to both crossbows and spearmen because of their insane attack speed.
The problem is Pakes, so the range advantage is against you, and then it's also, like, you're going to be kiting in your base, right? Knights. Yeah, okay, so that might be the worst roll next to Hui Hui Pao you could have got. Quadra Ram.
Okay, time to get the Rams in.
It's a lot of commitment to kill an Uvu. It's very far away to go for the main base. Does find him on the deal on the north side. This is just getting scrappy. LucifroN in his most comfortable format here. Raid, raid, raid. Warlords are going to come out to block that horseman raid. That's by time for the spearmen to arrive. Wait, did LucifroN... He did drop them off the end. Okay, yeah. Garrison at first.
Horse is going to come in soon. CsOH, he still doesn't have those knights, and I'm not sure. Can we check the blacksmith from CsOH? Does he have the military academy upgrade? Because that greatly speeds up the speed on your Kaganate Palace as well.
He has not got it. Oof.
So that's like more like 500 resource per minute instead of 700.
And also running out of resources to gather with.
He needs to replace them. He needs to replace the building placement, so he's going to get knights again.
Wait, what? Oh, no. Dive coming in now. So discover the pasture area now. LucifroN needs to wait for the Rams to arrive. Otherwise, it's going to slowly experience death by a million Spiridon placements. Keshiks are starting to converge towards the base as well. This is going to
lead on the crossbows.
Yep. The crossbows?
TC.
I was about to say, he switched over. Yeah, I was about to say, wow, elite crossbows on all 7 of them. No, he goes to the archers. Anything he can truly afford here.
It still feels bad on the archers because archers actually barely get any additional stats from the elite upgrade.
It was because he only has food and wood, really. Like the gold necessary for anything else just doesn't exist for him in this game. So dive comes in, LucifroN with an overwhelming military lead here. The Rams easily clearing CsOH's last hope in game number 4. Keshiks have come home though.
It's coming in.
Can they do it
like
here?
50. Look at the mass of green units floating, like running across the map. There are 50 more spearmen coming in.
Yep, and this was just crossbows on their own with a handful of melee. And yet they still hold. Now with the arrival of the torches, the Ram's still alive. I don't think CsOH's got anything left in the chamber.
Certainly doesn't look like it. And it's just never ending with 1,600 food per minute. And 1,300 wood per minute as well. Like LucifroN, he's perfectly content.
It's in for food.
Just spamming out this trash military.
Yeah, he's got this forever, remember, because it's all those farms. It's not like, you know, CsOH sitting here going, oh, there's only got a few deer left. Or, oh, the berries are going to run out soon. No, this is forever. This is a keeper.
It's never going to stop.
The Ram needs to actually... He's getting body blocked by a sheep.
By a sheep.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Sheep. I didn't see you there. Pardon me.
Oh, and the next point is also gonna be knights from the Kaganate.
Please stop. No, please. Yesterday, we had the best RNG I've seen in a Kaganate. Today, it's not the worst,
I mean, knights
but it's down
good.
there.
It's just the units that are being made against them.
Exactly. Like, I mean, at least if I had a Hui Hui Pao, I could try to snipe him from afar and force him to dive me, maybe.
So he's got a dream.
This is a nightmare. I don't know what you're talking about. When he goes to bed tonight.
And now it's a Hui Hui Pao.
Okay. Just, it's okay, CsOH. Sometimes life kicks you in the nuts and you just have to admit defeat.
You just gotta get your nuts elsewhere.
It's okay, because you know what? Like what I find, there's nothing worse than when you find an ornament you really, really like, but you know when you think it would look better in pairs. So I think really what CsOH needs is another Hui Hui Pao after this one. That will be the Why is he still in this game? Just please, give him the second wee power so he knows it's done.
LucifroN's military count has not budged below 100 within the last 3 minutes. But there it is. GG comes in. We're getting a game number 5, KP.
I don't know if that was like actually helping the morale of CSO in the end. It's almost, he's like a gambler with the last savings he's got at the table there. He's like, if it just rolls the right unit, Crackety, we'll be back in the money. I don't feel like there's any way he's going to get back in the money here though. LucifroN, a dominant game in the end out of him, and crazy when you consider how this game started. Like this was the comeback of the series so far. When you think about how wood-starved rather, even gold-starved, everything starved LucifroN was at the start. We had a game that easily could have been over in 8 or 9 minutes.
Yeah, this could have almost been like one of those situations where it's like checkmate. I like completely denied one resource, and now you do not have any more moves to make in this one. Next up, though, we're going to be seeing House of Lancaster for LucifroN and the RU bits for CSO. That's going to be a really interesting one as well. We talked about RU bits with CSO. Maybe. There's a big maybe here. Up against the, I want to say, ex-demon Civ, which maybe now isn't quite as demonic anymore as it used to be, but still very strong.
If you dervish into Desert Raiders quick enough, you could, I think you can dive maybe, right? Like, you'd have to circulate multiple Desert Raiders.
The dervish easily out-heals. And
let's
not
you
forget,
do 3.5 times 2, right? And then you do 1 aura, so it's 8 heal a second. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. 3.5 in combat from each, right?
Yeah.
And then 1,
but
I
you
believe,
can't garrison inside the House of Lancaster, so it's
exactly.
like just 1 is enough to out-heal.
So the thought here, though, like there is one catch, one caveat. If it's a close golden stone, I think it doesn't work. Because then the person's going to have probably 6 to 8 villagers in range with a mana and a Lancaster castle by the time you arrive, right? So I think you get shot out. But yeah, like it's feasible. I don't know, though. I hate Dry Arabia right now for Lancaster. There's just something about every spawn that almost guarantees you a golden stone next to each other.
Yeah.
Whether it's the starting one or the secondary. Like, it's always happening.
Yeah, we'll have to see how exactly that one's going to spawn, but there is definitely a way to play it that way.
Yeah, and reminder, there is definitely a way that LucifroN can still qualify here. So, like, he is keeping himself alive. He needs to win this. Now, I just got confirmation. He would then need Vortex to wipe Wham, and that would allow LucifroN to cruise through. Otherwise, what could end up happening here is that CSO and LucifroN could fall, and Wham could still qualify if he's able to slam dunk Vortex. So, a lot still to play for today.
I mean, a lot of these players went 3-3 in the end, right? So definitely a lot of hot contenders there. By the way, KP, you know what I just noticed?
No?
This T-shirt here. What color is it for you?
That's indigo, my friend.
I'm not sure why, but it's very purple in real life, but it's very blue in my camera.
Yeah, like I've said this before. I was like, straight away when you asked me, I was like, yeah, I can tell where this is going. That's like, it looks bluish, but it's not.
What color is that dress?
Does it look good on me? And then you just got to change the colors a lot, mate. Like, you got to here, like you know, what color shirt am I wearing?
That's a black shirt.
What color shirt? It's green. It's just a beautiful green. I got all the funk, man. I didn't expect it to go that green. I mean, wait. Crackety. Like, look, check. I'm role-playing how sick you feel when Deli gets picked.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah. But the question is, who's going to be more accurate here? Who's going to strike harder? It comes down to this. A deciding game on Dry Arabia. Can the camels be the hump that overthrows the Broman? Or are we just looking at Lancaster dunks and dubs all the way through? We're going to see game number 5 now on your screen. CSO on the Irobids in the orange and LucifroN as Lancaster with a Dark Age Rush.
Dark Age Rush against the Irobids? Okay. That's very interesting.
I guess it's because, obviously, you know, Irobids love their gold, so he sees some fixation and blocking that out. I mean, I don't think this is much about the deer here for Lancaster. Unless Is he thinking something like an Abbey of Kings build?
Maybe, but Abbey of Kings doesn't really feel that good when you're up against a civilization that has like ranged cavalry.
It is weird. Like I think you'd have to pivot immediately to yeoman. Honestly, I think they kind of overnerfed yeoman. Like the cost means in feudal age, without the mana build anyway, yeoman is very hard to justify now. Let's be real, it's gonna be
I
manas.
agree. This is surely no. Okay, he's actually not going for deer push. But look at that. He's actually getting a pretty good amount of sheep here as well, which House of Lancaster in theory doesn't need since they already spawn with 4 additional sheep underneath their base.
Yeah,
But
they
now he's
scout
got
like
them.
they scout like a berry sieve is the way I describe it, because they don't have to come home. It's such a subtly big advantage that adds to the complexities of why Lancaster is not a fun experience to run into right now.
Yes, there's more fun. There's
is he
definitely
gonna-
more fun to be had with. Is he gonna? Nah,
do we lane
he's
the
just
deer?
going for. He's just going for the gold.
This can I just be very unfiltered? This feels like a terrible spawn for a Dark Age rush.
Can I just be very unfiltered and say this feels like a terrible strategy from the get-go?
Look, I don't want to be mean to him, because if you're too mean, Crackety, it means he just goes back to building manners. And I don't want that for LucifroN, Lancaster, or Age of Empires 4.
We're still 100% going to see manners, but something that is going to change now. Okay, so CSO, he's got enough gold to age up. He's not going to go for the Dervish Wing. Instead, he is going to go for the Economic Wing growth. LucifroN does see that. He's not going for the immediate Barry denial. So CSO, he's going to be able to scale villagers here early on. The question is, what's the follow-up? So already denied off of gold a little bit here. Archer follow-up makes the most sense, for sure.
Yeah.
And with an Archer follow-up, you're kind of already in a, I want to say, spot where you definitely want to go for aggression, but there's a Lancaster Castle now. And
I'm just gonna say
gonna
it.
secure only stone? Okay.
It doesn't matter though. LucifroN won with his opening, Crackety. We don't have the foresight to understand what LucifroN was envisioning. He stopped CSO from doing Gamba Wing. All right, that's all I've got, really, with this play. But yeah, the Lancaster Castle on the back feels bad for multiple reasons, right? It only skews the stone, not gold as well, but also it's the back of your base, not the
You can
front.
make it's like you can make the 3 manners, but after that you lack the gold, the secure gold income in order to get the upgrade to continue with making more manners.
So I think maybe CSO seeing this, I don't know, maybe you just open 1 or 2 Desert Raiders and go fast castle yourself, knowing that your opponent's eco lead can't get that big. Because there's no all-in play here, surely. Like I don't see the picture, because I feel like it's always going to be Desert Raiders for you, and now because he doesn't have the Dervish heal, diving's not going to feel great in any circumstance.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, at least you still have the ability to immediately make a ram. Like, you don't need to wait for siege engineering. That's a benefit there. So you don't need the gold in the first place to start your aggression off. You can just immediately make archers and push across. The issue with that is, if LucifroN reacts with the Yeoman, he's gonna have an immediate advantage with his archers over yours. And we're actually gonna start seeing the stable here. Stable
Okay.
archery range.
Yeah, aggression definitely intended. So it goes for 1 of each. If this was just Desert Raider poke, you go stables only, because then you go Camel Lancers in a rush. So CSO is going to be
LucifroN,
present
though,
in the age.
LucifroN, he's almost got he's got enough gold to be able to upgrade the manors already. So he's
Lancaster
completely fine
Castle
with only having the Lancaster Castle on the stone.
Am I the only one that finds it kind of deceitful you can't garrison that thing? When I first saw the Lancaster Castle, I was like, oh
It
my
is.
god, they're going to garrison it. I'm screwed.
It's so OP. I can, put like 8 villagers like in a barbican inside. No, you can't.
I mean, this is the thing you got to learn about royalty. They're selfish. There's one king living there, and he won't share.
Little
Is he trying to shove the
shove
deer away?
there from Lucifer. Yeah, he tried. And he's actually going to be able to.
Yeah, he
It's too
actually
close
made
to Lancaster
LucifroN help
Castle.
him.
The scouts are, yeah.
I mean, so we've seen this a lot, right? Once it's underneath the Lancaster Castle, you're pretty much safe. We do have Horseman plus Archers, so CSO... I get why he's going Horseman here. Like, the interesting thought I had, though, you're talking about, like, the defense of Yeoman. I think you honestly could have maybe even considered, like, if it wasn't for that gold placement, Hobolars, this might be like the perfect situation as them for a defensive tool. Unfortunately, with them costing gold, that won't be on the menu.
Yeah. I'm not 100% on that, honestly. The Hobolars, I like them a lot once you unlock the charge in Castle Age.
Yeah.
From the college landmark. Yeah, because then your charge actually does damage. But if you look at like their base damage, it's similar to trying to make horsemen up against Ghazi or Sapahi.
I think of them a lot like Yumi.
Doesn't feel good.
If you're not building against a counter unit,
they're
worse
than
worthless.
Yumi.
Yeah, but like in the same category, right? Like you have to be building it to your counter unit.
Yumi you can at least make against archers as well. But you cannot make Hobolars up against horsemen.
I think, unfortunately, they just feel like a timing unit for Castle. The only reason why it may have felt good here is that idea when you talked about only archers. Like, if it's archers rams, then like they could have actually been your saving grace. But once again, it's the gold placement. And why am I talking about hobbies? We could just do this.
Wait. No, LucifroN,
he only has one mana. Oh, no. Oh.
He might be finishing another mana behind this. Yeah, okay, he's actually getting up to 3 manas, but I still don't like it.
I mean, 5 isn't too bad here, but the Desert Raider, maybe? Then again, your base damage is so low, the Desert Raider debuff is kind of...
Yeah, and they're only going to tickle the archers as well, in theory. Like, with this many, you can't, like, do too much damage to them. I don't know, maybe. Maybe the timing's there, maybe not. We'll see.
Okay, so hits to the ram.
Some wise words I learned from a coach. Sometimes things work, sometimes they don't.
Wow, that's, like, really deep, insightful coaching, you know? Like... Sometimes I need the toilet, sometimes I don't. Yeah, it's true of so much in life.
Have to go that far. Oh man, this is kind of brutal. Actually, I didn't think they would be doing like that well here, but they are. Yeah, and the timing was great.
There's a reason why I went for the toilet comment, because right now this all-in is making CSO feel a little bit crappy. The Desert Raider switch as well. Oh, it's so slow, and now Culture Wing advancement coming in, so CSO. Feeling that urgency.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be urgency now. At least, like, it's not that many manners, but LucifroN, he's kind of bought himself the opportunity to, at any point, go for more manners. But look at that, what we're seeing here. CSO going for the Castle Age advancement wing now.
Yeah, but the thing is, obviously, this gives no immediate upside other than just being faster and slightly cheaper, right? It's not like you're getting... the quirkiness of extra villages, dervish straight away. So that is a little bit tricky to try and unravel, considering that LucifroN, I mean, he's being blocked on gold. So, like, he's going to waste some time in this age. And the good news is Camel Lancers can't be stopped those spears. So, although it seems like the correct unit, like, realistically for LucifroN, crossbows or yeoman would be the better way against camels long-term here.
Mm-hmm.
And he is back
Something
on
that
gold now.
CSO still has going for himself up against these the manners is he still has the 3 bonus villagers that he started with, right?
Yeah.
I think there might have been a slight little bit of idle time since he's not ahead by a full 3 villagers. So yeah, maybe slight little bit of idle time. Maybe want to prioritize one of the horsemen. But okay, we're seeing
that might be a
barracks.
lot of idle time.
That's a Ghoulam rush now.
Oh, Ghulams. Okay, so I mean. That's cool in theory, Crackedy, but you know what I'm going to say. How do we reach the yeoman?
Well, you don't necessarily have to, because Ghulams just have so much more HP than normal men-at-arms, and you might just be able to kill enough villagers beforehand. LucifroN doesn't have wheelbarrows, so Ghulams actually outmaneuver the villagers unless you account for, like, formation.
And wow, shuffling. You felt good about your horseman raid, and then all of a sudden, look! Demi-Lances. They always turn up when you least expect it. There is a tricky thing here. LucifroN, that idle time on the Gold Vein really stung his timing here. In fact, he's actually gathering up a hell of a lot of wood right now. So maybe, is there any world in which you outpost here? What, for LucifroN? You think LucifroN's going to ram?
Either CSO maybe goes for some forward rams or maybe forward mansionings. No, he's going for archers now behind as well. I mean, LucifroN's just getting a lot of wood in passively just from having the manners as well. Like, every manor also gives you a lot of wood.
I guess, then that's sick then, because you can just sell them across. Like, it might be worth a marketplace to just get a rush timing here. I guess, like, at this stage, food is the bigger issue for him, but we do have the play now into the middle of the deer. It feels like a white tower could be forced, maybe. I mean, CsOH's just not really approaching the base yet is the issue.
We're getting the upgrade on the Spearman to get some of the armor destroyed on these units now.
Oh yeah, good old Billman.
Pierce damage coming in as well.
Powerful tech here, especially with the undermesh ticking in. That means the yeomen will be able to double their damage.
Yeah. CsOH also going for Dervish, so I mean, at least relics could help. Once again, like these are only 3 manners. It's nothing like crazy like we're used to from the House of Lancaster. Like in part, it's kind of like offset by the bonus villagers and other bonuses that Ayubids get here at this point in time.
Yeah.
Like the bonus gather speed in general from the Golden Age.
Yeah, it's like those manners are only 4 relics, you know? That's the way to think about it. And there's 5 relics on the map, so, like, checkmate.
We do have the Golems in the front side now. We don't have Pierce Armor level 2, but we do have a Ram in there as well. And we do have a theoretical Ram. That's a very theoretical Ram.
I think that Ram just handed in its resignation. It's like, nope. Icy Spears. I don't like them. White Tower now coming. Yeah, it has to be. Like, you just get dove otherwise. Speaking of dives, once again, Demi-Lancers. Jazz hands.
He didn't get a villager kill in there. Did get one in earlier.
But think about what the Demi-Lancers done. Like, this is the thing. Even when you have games where they don't kill anything, the thing that I think it's important to highlight, because, like, you know, some of us just watch and we deal in, like, flashy big numbers, cool. It's the fact that they're idling the enemy, but also idling the army of the enemy. Like, think about what CsO would look like if his whole army had been stationed here right now. Well, Golems is not looking great anymore.
Yeah, definitely not. Immediately upgraded. Yeah, upgrade to veterancy and then the +2 pierce damage. I'm wondering. See, so he's now up to 2 dervishes, so he is at least collecting the relics with a good amount of speed. Almost lost a villager there, but is going to be able to keep him safe.
And this often feels like the hardest comp to pull off for Ibids. Like, on paper, there's so many situations where Golems should just win the game, right? And then you remember...
Don't have boot camp.
Yeah, you don't have boot camp, you have slow movement in general, they cost more than standard men-at-arms, and you don't really have ramped up production. It's not like a Burgrave where you have 5x production rate. There's so many
boot camp just adds so much value. It turns these Golems into pseudo, like, infantry knights from a tankiness point of view, up against archers.
Yeah, and against opponent in feudal, they have limited options due to those double strikes. Like, in theory, Golems rush against someone an age behind should be very good because they have no armored units.
Yeah, Golems might be about to be caught off guard there on the retreat. Yeah, LucifroN's about to catch him.
And switching to Earlsguard as well. Liking the look at this comp, LucifroN is playing for relics now, obviously heavily delayed, so there might not be much left on the map. In fact, probably only 1 relic you can grab here. The Archer does at least snitch about the Yeoman rotation, so CsO, he could actually hide in the Stealth Forest to play it safe.
Yeah. I mean, LucifroN, the army composition makes a lot of sense, right? Like, he already has a lot of Spearmen, he already has a lot of Yeomen, so now adding in crossbows, adding in Earlsguard, just... That's a gold sink for him that he can spend his gold on. Since he already has the mass, now he needs quality.
Lucy, I imagine... Do you just go back for the more manners now? He is actually back on the stone. He just jumped there. So we'll likely see the mana transition into level 2 shortly.
Oh, LucifroN already on the berries just before CsO is about to move out there. Is he going to find them? He is. Eyes
on. So it does deny the gathering. Awkward for CsO as well. He needs any food he can get right now. And the army is so far away.
He did at the very least get all 5 of these relics, so now he can also, like, if it comes to defensive standpoint, he can hunker down, get some Manjaniks out with his units, help him defend that way. We're also getting some camel lances in now.
Yeah, flank raiding could be good here. It's just difficult against Lancaster.
Overall, like, this isn't that, like, one side of the spot still.
No, it's still competitive, but there's no doubt, like, it's leaning LucifroN, especially now that the extra manas are going to start coming in.
The additional mana scaling is quite nice there. Also got one of the sacred sites. Like, this is actually a lot of gold. 500 gold per minute passively now. CsOH just doesn't have the greatest means of spending it right now.
No, it feels like the archers are a bit necessary against the spears, sure, but feels quite budgeted with what you're up against here. It's 20 yeomen now. The old scout as well. Now press forward. LucifroN moves in on 4 berries. Does reveal himself. Says, fear not, citizen.
Sprinkles as well could help. Like the full-on just siege play from now on.
I mean, he has the gold. It would make a lot of sense. And once again, those spearmen slide on in.
So at least should be able to rush the outpost up, but no, he's going to retreat. Does have wheelbarrows, so should be able to outpace them.
It just doesn't feel worth it to lose 2 or 3 villages here. So instead, he sacrifices just having food. It's getting a little bit awkward right now. I mean, I'm never really seeing a big reserve of food building. Every time I look up the army, the number feels like it's not really moving in the right direction.
Yeah. Same for LucifroN, except he already has the army up, and now with more manas coming up, he's working on that actively.
Was 5 relics in the end, right? So, like, there is another thing for LucifroN, like this play into the monastery double monk feels terrible. Best thing you can do now is just trying to capture sacred sites to at least get back what he spent.
Yeah.
And this game, it's kind of crazy how slow this game has gone, considering how fast these two have played.
Yeah,
in the
it's
series.
slowed down a lot now at this point in time. Both players just kind of measuring up against each other. CSO, like, when you look at the landmarks though that he went up with, he doesn't have any benefits from his landmarks anymore at this point in time.
That's always the tricky thing.
Villagers, but LucifroN has more at this point in time, thanks to raids and idle time.
Yeah, this is always the weird thing with hybrids for that reason, right? Like, there's not many things that keep their permanence until you're in, like, the Imperial timings, right? Where you have things like the growth wing that can give 10% more, or there are certain things that will be perky either on, like, Atabegs, but I feel like Atabegs literally never gets picked anymore.
Yeah. CSO could be looking for a second TC. He has the resource for it now. The question is, don't you just like die when you put up a second TC? But he is going for it.
Try. Like, I don't think there's a keep drop logic here, and you know your opponent has to be scaling manas. Otherwise, why wouldn't LucifroN be diving you right now? And it's gonna get harder as well. LucifroN does have the sync shot on the way.
Sync shot isn't the biggest issue anymore, thank God. It used to, like, in low count, be able to one-shot your backline. Now it doesn't necessarily one-shot you anymore, especially when you have +2 pierce armor.
I think it's very reasonable now. Like, especially the delay to the shots arriving was a big deal. Like, I remember Baltu was like, KP, come test this with me. And he tried to Pavis drop it. It didn't work. Whereas now you could actually, like, as French Pavis drop to block sync shot. You actually have enough time, finally. So there's a lot of interactions that now feel balanced with sync shot. I know there's going to be some Reddit threads that are going to argue me on that, but, like, legitimately, I think it's a cool skill. I don't think it's, like, over the top. Only change it maybe needs on top.
It's very expensive to research.
Yeah, it's very... I think you can maybe make it cheaper and then make it take longer on the cooldown, and that would be cool.
Yeah. Shard Levy coming now in as well, and that's going to be... Well, not that many. I say not that many. It's 14 units still. Like, it's
at the threshold where it's kind of worth it, because you paid 1,200 for it, right? And, like, the interesting thing is actually you had to be, I think, at 7 or 8 manas for it. It's very close to worth it now because of the nerf to the cost. So because they're 5 more resources. It's 95
resources per.
Yeah.
And you get, I mean, it's very close. Like, you might as well, like, it's gold, right? Like, you might as well just make them normally, honestly.
But that's the thing, right? Like, the extra 5 per, like, actually added up quite a bit. And then also the other thing you have to keep in mind is you are instantly vomiting out 14 or so yeomen.
It is instantly, but I don't see the rush for LucifroN.
Have you never seen yeoman run? You're about to see the rush. Look at that mini-map. He's heading on out. I mean, it's almost a double military lead.
It's pretty close, too. We got the first Manjanique in. Wonder if CsO is able to pump out a second Manjanique until, like, just before the fight happens. I'd need to. Did a good job of just, like, being annoying on the sacred sites and making sure, like, he's got the control over them. Good farm switch behind this as well. If he's able to, like, hold this next fight, he should be in a good spot, but it's gonna be very, very tough. He's got resource in the bank. I don't think he can afford having resource in the bank right now. He's got enough for a keep. Maybe the panic keep between the TCs.
He seems a little bit unsure on what he's meant to be building here. I mean, like, why else hold? There's no way you're thinking Imperial here. Like, that would... the temptation has to be there due to Desert Raiders, but, like, it would be Desert Raiders into mass Yeoman. Not ideal, and those Yeomen do reveal on the small rotation north. That small retinue is going to go down, and also the food. The food is the bigger concern here. The berries at the back, he knows that, but the deer also gets scouted out, so LucifroN does catch CSO on the economy, and that's going to be the villager lead they only just built disappearing.
I mean, 10 military units dying is not just a few. Keep goes up. He wants to put it in the middle. I'm not sure he can afford dropping it in the middle. Spread formation comes in, so Manjanik isn't going to do too much damage.
I mean, practically done no damage. It hit 2 Yeomen and didn't even kill them. And you're seeing the Billman effect. Spearman beat Gulam. Dives in deeper now. Sink shot is going to be a little bit wasted there. Not exactly high value, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't need high value. All he really needs is an A-click. Second wave of Gulam now arrives with the backstab. LucifroN with the stand ground is definitely not optimal here with Yeoman.
He did also kill the Camel Lancers, though, which were trying to attack from the flank. And just
now
too
he's
many
raiding.
Yeomen.
Yeah, he's raiding into the farms now. This is the big deal. So those Gulams look good because the Spearmen weren't there, right? They were attacking the south side. If the Spears had hit those Gulam again, instant melted. But now Olsgaard plus Yeoman on the farms. And I think this is conclusion point. House of Lancaster is going to close it out. It means that LucifroN will be able to keep his dream alive. His fate not fully in his hands, though. It requires...
There's the string shot.
Yeah. Calm down. This is not a war elephant anymore.
I've experienced string shots a lot of times.
He
there
keeps
are some Vietnam flashbacks that I suffer from.
I think he keeps canceling it, right? Because if you click straight away, I don't think you do the full DPS anymore.
Might be, yeah. Makes a lot of sense, right? Since they have to shoot, right? The arrow has to come from somewhere.
Yeah, like the animation and the noise isn't long enough. I think he keeps canceling it a bit, but this is interesting now, guys. It means that LucifroN keeps his hopes of making playoffs alive with this win. Vortex, there's a good sink shot. He's damaged, but like obviously not enough of them. But no, now what happens if LucifroN wins this game, which is looking incredibly likely, his brother could deliver him to the playoffs if he's able to annihilate Wham 3-0.
Now, that's still a tough ask at the end of the day, right? Maybe. There is a chance.
Exactly. And the thing is, you have to think playstyle-wise, the meta and where it's at.
We're getting hobblers.
It's happening, baby! With White Towel. Why are we with White Towel? I'm so far ahead. I'm going to build the hobbits.
Just to raid now. Just to have additional torches.
I mean, CSO, like, we know he's not going to call GG. It's the last game, right? And, like, this literally is his tournament life. So he'll play this one out to the small percentile, but we have to be realistic about this.
He can live again in another tournament.
Yeah, like, the probability of him striking back here, I feel like, is, like, under 5% at this stage. But the more Hobblars...
Yeah, this one's run out.
There's an interesting effect here, though, Crackety. Every single time a Hobbler gets added, the percentage chance increases by 1.
That's very... Oh my god, we're already at 7%.
He's doubled his win probability. Whoa! About to triple it?
I mean, Hobblers have +1 pierce armor compared to normal horsemen.
That's true.
So if it's just about surviving underneath the TC... Yeah,
if it's just about reaching 200 pop, they are very efficient. And, like, that's the thing with Hobblars that makes them feel weird as all hell and feudal. It feels like you need 30 to 40 of these for it to make sense.
That's the Rams now. We're about to be sieging the keep.
And the Hobblars, here we go, onto the farms. The one unit they can beat in this game.
Farms.
Villagers. Oh, farm.
Oh, yeah, that too.
yeah, the villager fight is a lot closer, though. like you see them square up to a villager with textiles. Like, I gave him 4-to-1 odds.
More Hobblers coming in. This time, though, they find the Gulams. We also have boiling oil.
So interesting fact, Crackety. We usually ordain the reason why a player won the game to be the unit they have the most of.
Yeah, Hobblas win this game.
Yeah, there we go. That's that simple. Hobblas are going to be the cause.
Of the game.
He's building siege tower. Wait, what?
That's a misclick.
Wait, does that mean if you build
any wards to scale?
Wait, does that mean if you build 25 siege towers and win the game, it's because siege towers?
100%. I mean, it has to be. No other way around it. Yeah, LucifroN. 55 military units. I'm not sure, KP, on it. Like, the Hobblas are just. I don't want to discredit them too much, but honestly, I'm looking at this and Hobblas like trash, dude. Hobblas are just a trash unit. It's so bad. Like, LucifroN might legitimately just like hurt his chance of winning just making Hobblas. Like, he might legitimately lose this game thanks to making Hobblas.
Crackety, you need to be very careful, right? Because that's slander, and if you do that, the Hobblas are going to turn up at your office of work and like lightly kick you in the shin. All right, so be very careful.
Say we force slander video.
Like, be very careful. These guys are going to turn up at your office and hit you about as hard as a scout would. So chill, all right? Like, look at this. Villager kill right there.
Oh my god. Almost. Wait.
One of them died. One of them died.
Wait for it.
And they got a worker kill.
If there was space in DC, he would have lived.
But like I spent 90 resources and I killed the 50 resource investment. Checkmate. Like, look at this castle. This castle right now is like, there's just so many Hobblas to kill. So many. I'm overkilling them.
That streamers can use when they get matched against low elo opponents in 1v1s in order to troll.
So we got hobbits and trolls then in the same statement as what I just heard there. Look at, look at these camel lancers. How pathetic, right? They cost so much more than Hobblar, and they haven't even killed the same amount. Like, they haven't killed a comparative amount of villagers yet. I mean, this is pathetic.
I think they have. I honestly
no. This is fake news, right? Because remember, those 2 camel lancers cost the same as 50 Hobblars, and 50 Hobblars have killed more. Oh, this unit is. It saddens me because I think Hobblars are very unique and interesting.
Maybe if they made the tech speed like really fast, give them like mounted.
You'd have to make them more expensive. You would have to make them so much more expensive.
You'd have to, yeah, but just imagine him with auto-negation levels of attack speed.
I got something like stupid but cool. Makes them a bit more quirky. When Hobblars die, their pony dies, and then it's the guy on like foot with 15 HP.
Yeah.
You know. So
yeah.
like it's almost like if you have spears, like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna lose this fight, but now I get to trade out, like, hit you twice more, something like that, right? Just quirky. It wouldn't be OP, but it'd be. I mean, I actually think people probably hate that because of pop block. Now that I think about it.
I mean, you can give them like, I think you can give them like 50 HP or something like that.
Yeah, like you'd have to, otherwise the pop block in late game is gonna make it bad. But we have got an eco lead for CSO.
Yeah, and LucifroN's immediately getting like 5 monks out. Well, 3.
There's so many crossbows. Yeah. So many. All right, I think this game has been won by crossbows. Yeah. What a rare occasion. I've never seen crossbows. You're telling me it wasn't the Hobblars? What? Fake news. No. They lost the game for him. Look at that. 14 Hobblars and 38 crossbowmen now. Honestly, the Hobblars almost turned the game around. But you know, like, when people talk to you about like how their country was built by X or Y, right? And it's like, it's false. It was actually built by the native people. It's like that, right? Like, this whole kingdom was built on Hobblars. Just because the crossbows are the last ones here don't mean nothing, you Neanderthal. I mean, look at Hobblars and being Deseret's have done it. Yeah, I'm wondering. I feel like this has been synchronized shot. That was a. I'm warning you. You know when you've got like someone with noodle arms with a knife out against a guy, like, I swear, you step up. I can't help but feel maybe spearmen would be quite helpful here for Landcast. You know, the trash unit that's actually good. There are still some archers in there for CSO as well. Oh, and now a keep in front of his base to secure. Okay, maybe he can recover. Did you see that? Forget, he still has boiling oil. Did you see that? Those 2 Hobblars killed 2 infantry of the Ibids. Efficient trade. No way. Yeah. Now you're lying. It happens. Fake news. How is it? Look at CSO's gold. Oh my god! Buy an ally with that much. Turn it into a 2v1. He could buy Imperial Age almost. And then we build Desert Raiders against the Hobblars. nom nom.
He's getting to... Honestly, like, I'm not even joking right now when I'm saying this. I think CSO
He's kind
is
of
coming
surviving.
back.
Yeah, it's getting
not
weird.
Just kind of. He's actually, like, things have turned around. Look at that. We're getting
my
there.
God.
Imperial Age is coming in. Dude, this game is actually turning around. Ayubit's actually going to win this now. I'm not even joking.
He
This
needs
is
attack.
happening.
No,
The Hobblers
not
actually
more Hobblers. No more Hobblers.
The Hobblers actually just flipped the game around. I'm not joking. This is happening.
I can't believe it. It really has happened. Hobblers are going to win someone the game. It's just not going to be the Lancaster player.
All right, LucifroN, he's realizing that something's going on here, and he needs to do something. He's going for Sacred Sites now.
This is ridiculous. I mean, if he loses this game now.
He's doing it. He's doing it. He's going for the mass Desert Raider army composition. We talked about it earlier. Ranged cavalry is stupid in Imperial Age because they benefit from so many different elite and Imperial Age upgrades from the university. You're getting biology, you're getting incendiary arrows, you're getting the attack range upgrade as well. On top of that, Desert Raiders, they benefit from the Golden Age, like more attack speed.
Yeah.
They get bonus armor with the infantry support. It all stacks up. And in Imperial Age, with the reinforcement wing, you're getting, like, what is it, 450 resources worth of Desert Raiders per minute. I think it might even be more than that.
It's more than that. I think it was 630. 630 resources a minute. Because it'd be 1260. Isn't 1260 right?
It's 7, and you get them.
It's like 180
1.5 minutes.
I remember it's like somewhere in 600 because I said it so many times on stream. But like, we may have seemed like we were memeing on the Hobblers, but we were for good reason.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, there we go. That's a good feeling. Well, it's not a good feeling. These Hobblers. Like, it may seem like we were teasing, memeing, or whatever, but like, legitimately, you only build them
around
when you're so far ahead you can't lose. And LucifroN may have misread how far ahead he was. I can't believe this.
People are asking why we're downplaying the relics, because it wouldn't have mattered if it weren't for the Hobblers.
Like, if he just built, say, more yeomen, maybe added in some Asgard, right? Like, more villages.
Anything other than the Hobblers. Anything other than the Hobblers would have won LucifroN the game here.
The problem is, I've seen him on Lancaster win games, Vortex as well, with this Hobbler push. But it's when they go King's College and bulk 30 to 40 unnoticed. This is
Without
completely
King's
different.
College, Hobblers just straight up aren't good. It's not even that they're not good, they're straight up bad.
They legitimately need the Hill Fort's tech to be available.
Look at how slow they are at killing villagers.
We've almost got him. Hold on. We got this one. Nailed it. I think he's dead. Maybe.
Wait.
There we got him. Free dead.
Imperial Age is going to be interesting once again, though. Wingard Palace has some interesting choices, and I mean specifically when it comes to siege.
Oh, yeah.
Like the Culverin,
Daka boys.
the Mass Culverin and Republican play.
Yep. Into
It's kind of brutal.
like Desert Raiders
you need
lose,
archers.
right?
You need archers with the range upgrade, else the Republicans like range everything. Like Republicans, they are getting too close range-wise against crossbows. Like crossbows aren't good against Republicans. Hand cannoneers aren't good against Republicans. I want to say that even Desert Raiders aren't that great against Republicans.
No, it's rough. Like, you just get melted. And here's an interesting thought. CSO's like, wow, that was a really interesting way to throw the game. I'm going to try building horsemen too. The problem, though, CSO, is your horsemen are actually good.
Man, this is actually crazy now. We do have double Manjanique out now.
Maybe if he gets the castles up, he could go for like an Earlsguard switch here. The bonus damage, maybe, to try and hold. But the issue now is mobility.
Yeah, he does have multiple keeps. The thing, I mean, Earlsguard, they do have 1.25 times per movement speed. They got decent mobility.
Yeah. Compared to Yeoman.
And then the AoE on them. The issue is that Desert Raiders have so much melee armor, but you can kind of offset that with enough keeps.
Well, the daggers are good for that though, because they're classified as range damage, right? So like you can basically do AoE cleave into them from ranged. Yeah. Mangoes are creeping in though.
He's getting a lead Hobblast.
Please. LucifroN's like, just let me finish cooking. Okay, you guys have not seen its final form. You're gonna eat your words. Yummy shot comes in, nowhere near enough damage.
Hobblers are crazy in the worst way possible.
Yeah, it's also, you're going to run out of gold eventually, and you're just burning gold to do this as well, right? That's the other weird thing about this comp. Has at least got Scuttage to help that a little bit, and at least there's not a lot of gold. Yeomen are going to split up now.
Around.
Mango's dead. Nicely played there. LucifroN with the military advantage now. And no one say it's because of the Hobblers. It's because of the Yeomen.
Dude, the Hobblers are crazy.
Yeah, they're absolutely crazy. Like, if I watched my brothers run into an army and do nothing for this long, I wouldn't run in as well. You wouldn't be able to convince me. But look at him go. That one little guy right there is like, yep, I'm going to take them all on for you.
We're getting incendiary in now. Like, the upgrades are starting to stack up for CSO. Some raids here and there as well. Let's not forget, he also still has 40 more economy, all the 5 relics. Has the sacred side in the middle, at least until now.
Lucy. He's cancelling the sink shot early. I'm certain of it now, yeah. This is the problem. Like Lancaster is bad for players that have high APM. Because you want to click again. He's going to start back, and there we go, sink shot. Done it again. And the Hobblers are at least meat shielding well.
Or anything like that.
No.
Yeah, the meat shield, they're working.
Because the thought here is, like, in a way, what's happening is CSO's probably overkilling the hobbies a lot compared to, like, a horseman. So it's kind of logic with Yuumi as well, right? Like, if you're shooting them too hard, it's not worth it. It's like Javelin trading into mass Yuumi is weird sometimes.
Yeah. Do we have another keep in the middle from CSO next to the next Clutch Gold? But I think it's already being sieged down. Yeah, it had to be cancelled. This race coming in now.
Hobblers
keeps going up for
MVP question mark.
I mean, for CSO, yes, they are.
See that LucifroN has a notable military lead here. One that could get even bigger.
He definitely does, but I'm still not really feeling it too much, I want to say. Like, mainly because of the Desert Raiders. I've at first hand experienced how crazy Imperial Age Desert Raiders can be.
They're ridiculous. Like, it's... And I've seen some of the builds. I still remember Louis MT in one of our more defensive maps, fast imping with the hybrid build. The first time we saw it competitive to the extreme.
The only way this could be more extreme is if he had the the camels to buff the HP on them. The Adabags.
Don't get me started. Like, biology and Adabags. Wow, what a good life. By the way, we're not even in full camel form. He still needs to add in another 24 structures. We'll get there.
I'm not sure if we have infantry support yet. Grant, I mean, there's no infantry there, but yeah.
Keeps trying for that castle creep up. I mean, he's got to do something with 2,000 stone in the bank.
We do have gold. Incendiary. He doesn't have any gold mines at the moment.
Okay, this is big, though. We didn't have Incendiary this whole time from LucifroN, and he's pretty much leaning 75% into range comp. So a big damage burst increase coming, and bad news to the Desert Raiders. This is some weird walling.
Hobbler raid.
We've done it. We got one. He's fertilizer for the crops. Who?
Another one. And Desert Raiders not enough here.
Okay, yeah, so Desert Raiders go down. Incendiary is going to kick in a second. This is actually good the way LucifroN's done this. Killing him now means he might be able to mask the Incendiary until they take a big fight.
I mean, there's already 30 up again.
Yep, but it's only 10 times more than there are Hobblers.
And let's not forget, you can still, like, because you went for the reinforcement wing, you can actually make siege with the with your camels.
Mm-hmm. Like that ram he was building on the south side as a wall was being built next to him. It's like, oh, I guess counter for the counter. Oh, look, another ram. So I guess you could just shunt the farms here, slow them down. I mean, LucifroN's food income is quite pathetic at this stage. And this, I mean, yeah, CSO's not much better, right? But with all the free units that are getting added in from the Desert Raid account, I don't think he needs as much as Lancaster does here.
I keep going up here now.
There's a small group of yeomen here. They are being ignored. And it happened again. I
hear the sink shot, but I don't see it.
And it's the bait. You're like, oh my god, I need to dodge. And then it's already too late.
Nothing happens.
You know what's probably happening?
We're getting a good amount of spearmen now at this point in time. Oh,
you know what's probably happening with sync shots? It's like everyone still thinks it's OP because they hear it go off. And then they go, oh my god, where did my 20 units go? And they don't realize they rallied them to the corner and lost track of them. So even with the normal attacks, I'll be trading out here. Pretty damn well against the Desert Raiders. But there's still a dive on that backside. The castle is being blunted as well. No answer to the ram, so LucifroN is going to lose the protection on the farms. This is ridiculous. How is this game still going?
I mean, we know the answer.
I don't know. We might want to repeat it again so chat can hear it.
The Hobblers. I mean, you never want to like discredit a player at the end of the day, right? Like,
no, it's not a case of like.
There might have been a vision with the Hobblers, and I think if
yeah.
I think it's just like LucifroN maybe slightly misjudging the situation that CsO was in, because CsO with a second TC and he had the food transition, he wasn't completely dead. He had enough resources.
That he needed
gold.
Reinforcements, right? Like he thought he just needed a new wave to get in there to end the game, and we kind of felt it was at that stage where it could make sense as well, right? But like he just didn't have the firepower behind it. Like Hobblers is almost like a distraction in the composition. That makes sense. Like on their own, as we saw here, not that great. And I've seen LucifroN make this work. Like, truly, I've seen the Hobblers work. Like, people think I'm half the hope beam. No, I've seen them destroy games, but it's always...
Without the college...
Exactly, with the college.
At least then they get a charge, and the charge actually does a good amount of damage. You do like 28 damage, double that against siege or against ranged units. Like, they actually shred range and siege units. Here, it's more like don't fault the player, fault the unit in this kind of situation, right? Like, Hobblers baseline are actually just a bad unit baseline, and I feel like they deserve an additional upgrade or something for them.
I think you should be able to get heal forts
into the unit.
Yeah, I think you should be able to get heal forts in Imperial Age, even if you don't have college, right? So, like, then it's a trade-off of getting early, sense. Like Roylands 2. It's definitely, like I said, I think it's a cool unit. It just needs some adjustments. Now, some of it is insanely strong. Haddad Jack just came in. So, LucifroN's entire comp just got free melee armor.
Melee armor is good, but there's still a lot of bonus like damage being thrown around, and the Desert Raiders do range damage at this point in time. Like, you don't really want to use them for melee that much against a mainly spearman-based army composition.
Yeah.
This game overall has just become very, very chaotic. Even though LucifroN's behind by a lot in economy and he doesn't have any relics, the manners do make up for a lot of it.
Exactly.
So
especially
he doesn't need to have full... Yeah, so he doesn't need to have the full army count. He can make up for it with the manners and instead have like more military instead of more economy.
Now, we do have something important coming in. Because this is the thing, LucifroN wasn't exactly swift on his university tactics. Elite army tactics finally got queued. This can be a big game changer here. CsO's army is not going to be well inclined to deal with mass spears. He does, however, have adjustable crossbars on the way. So CsO getting ready to enter his final form.
The mass siege play now from both players, as we do also have some Republicans making their way across the map.
Difficult to reach the fight, though.
Definitely.
Yeah, I love this little
Desert Raiders. They can just kite.
Sync shot just not getting his maximum damage as always. You more Spearmen are going to chase the mangoes behind the palisades.
Oh, yeah, the palisade walls now coming in clutch.
Is he going for the snipe? It's a little bit too gambly. We'll back up and reset. LucifroN with a 2-1 military lead here. CsO.
There's only one Culverin, though, to push in.
CsO's kind of shackling himself because of the eco in a way, right? Like, he's building a reserve. He just doesn't actually have the pop space to full blob here. Mango's a little bit exposed. Spearman will just get a dive in.
About to be.
One Mango down, second one to full. Republicans get a good shot out to scare him away. Will be sniped now in return, but the Yeoman being ignored as a result of that. And LucifroN looks like he should be able to push in deeper, get that decap on the sacred site to remove that pressure.
At the same time, just some small raids here and there in LucifroN's base, but nothing too crazy. Chased away by a couple of spearmen now.
It's the Lancaster life. 10 villagers die. Did he kill my mana? No? Okay, I'm fine.
Still, it's only one Culverin, so it's incredibly tough for LucifroN at this point in time to really push into the keeps. Mangonels now with adjustable crossbars, but out of position by a good bit.
Yeah, and you don't want to stand your ground with the Desert Raiders either. Sync shot once again just gets counter short. Spears.
Oh, Mangonaut shots, though!
The Roboticon also on the side to hold back those few horsemen. Spearmen are actually going to redirect over there, but the remaining ones do get rid of the double mango. And the push is on. This is not enough villagers, surely.
This keep isn't going up.
He's arriving now. He has to retreat from the area, and just look at the number difference that's growing here. CSO, it just feels like the Desert Raiders haven't got the potency to keep up with this.
And CsO, I mean, this is the issue, right? He just does not have gold access at all. It's all passive gold income right now for both of these players.
You'd think the
gold
guy
in the middle could not be secured.
But you'd think the guy with 5 relics and 2 sacred sites would win that trade-off, but LucifroN's competing just through Scuttage.
Yeah, it does help a lot when you have very efficient trash units at this point in the game. There's not even that much gold remaining in that gold mine there. LucifroN, he is securing the big fort. I want to say big, but I mean, at this point in time,
the huge
relatively, it is big. Are we getting trade, though, now?
Like, I want you to remember...
SDI betrayers.
Like, it is, by the way, like, to be fair to it, that is a lot of gold. Because if you think about it, if he wanted to build Hobblars, that's 200 Hobblars.
Yes.
All right, I'm done. We're moving on from that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We're never going back to those.
We want to forget the Hobblers at this point in time.
It is interesting to think of Lancaster in the late game in that regard. Like, they don't have as many trash units as other saves. You know, Food and Wood ones, right? Like,
yeah,
that's another part of why we see Lancaster on Yeoman and Spears.
Only.
Exactly.
It's still a large stone, so maybe we could go back into making keeps into Mass Urgot.
No, CSO's going Golems. He just queued up the elite tech.
He's upgrading them. Not sure about that. Like
against Padded Jack?
Hilly Billy Spearman.
The Hilly Billy.
Whatever it's called.
The Padded Jack Spim?
Oh, I'm sick.
Hilly Billy. What the hell was that?
Bill Hook.
Oh,
Bill Hook.
Bill Hook.
Yeah. There we go.
You should just call it the Kill Bill Hook. I was like, is he going for the Padded Jack team? Yeah, so it's free melee armor, which is -6 damage to the Golem, and then they have -1 melee armor themselves. Like, you actually get melted by this comp.
Oh, man.
Okay,
rough.
we just got confirmation in, by the way. No matter what, if CSO wins with this score, WAM will not be able to qualify anymore. So, F's in the chat.
Yeah.
That's one less Canadian. And
yeah, it's a couple less Yeomen as well.
We can make more. Shy of the levies. Stabs coming in.
That's a lot of Mangonauts that are about to potentially go down.
Yeah, because
not just potentially.
The Desert Raiders aren't your front line, right? Like, they're kiting away. As you said, you always use range form, but that means there's no one to actually protect Matt Siege.
Crazy still, like the Mangonauts did a good amount of damage even to those spearmen. Even when they're like in melee formation. I want to say like the minimum range of Mangonauts might need a nerf. Oh my god, once again the shots are coming in.
I think whoever loses this one is going to need a shot of a different type, because this has been quite the exhausting experience for both of them. New wave of spearmen are arriving.
Not many military units. Yeah, there they are. It's a lot.
He's trickling horsemen and Golem, right? And the horsemen will arrive too fast. Golem's maybe a little bit too slow is the challenge here. Now the siege has gone full stationary. Nice dive in. Does get rid of the Culverin. LucifroN, it just feels like he's got so much military mass. And look at the right of the screen. Look at the right of the screen. The monsters are coming over the hill. The full reinforcement wave is here. The party is about to rock harder than it has for CSO in a while. The siege no longer easily protected. He's going to lose all mangoes.
Yeah, the mangoes are going down. Another string shot, but there it is. Mangoes finally down, but there's 5 more in QKP.
Does he get the gold? This is ridiculous.
He's got the gold from somewhere. I mean, the trade's in. It's not that many traders, but...
I think he's got 5 and then he's got the 8k vein, right? Like, he's literally farming just south of this fight.
He's just starting to run thin for LucifroN here.
You know what's crazy? Look at the military now. LucifroN had consistently around 100. Somehow he's been reduced down to 50.
Oh, man.
This game is insanity. I can't believe this. With mass
so many Golems.
Oh, God. I think he solved it. Like, this is the thing we had a concern about, is the Mangos could not be protected by Desert Raiders. They're useless there. But Gulam Horsemen? This is perfect.
It's a lot of them as well. Wouldn't come. I mean, you got all these manners, but at the end of the day, CsOH is up to 149 villagers, or rather economy. Can't discount the traders there as well.
Does not even have elite army tactics yet. That's now on the way for those Gulams.
If only LucifroN had horsemen in order to like jump onto the siege there.
Yeah, right.
The Hovelas are just not. They're just not feasible.
Yeah.
The gold cost.
Yeah, hobos on horseback are just not going to win that for him, unfortunately, against Gulams in particular. You get more ranged armor, not more melee. And the Mango push continues. I think he might be tempted back towards it. And, well, we have a rarity here. We don't often see that from the Lancaster Castle. It is the final muster you have, but it will not be mustered in time. LucifroN not able to muster the defense. CsOH will strike him out and make it through to playoffs of Elite Classic 3.
Man, this has been an absolutely crazy back and forth series between these two players. Honestly, I didn't expect that. I did not expect this set to be as crazy as it was. Like every single game was incredibly entertaining. Man, KP, I'm so happy to have been able to cast this set because this one was just incredibly exciting.
An absolute gem and delivered some interesting turns and lessons along the way. You know, some new units being seen, some that maybe shouldn't have been, but I can't fault the two, you know, like just to reiterate it to LucifroN, may look like a throw in some people's eyes because Hovelar is underperforming, but I think genuinely, like I've seen him make that work multiple times. It's a timing-based attack and the timing wasn't there, but you can't fault CsOH, man. Always on the rise. You know, some people wondering if LucifroN's in his final form. I don't think this is necessarily LucifroN being overwhelmingly weak. I think this is more the competition catching up, and CsOH in particular has damn well impressed me in this group stage with his performance.
Yeah. CsOH has definitely been very, very impressive.